All right.
Brian.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Sean Nerney, engineer extraordinaire. Matt Egger, the rocker holds the ship together. Nick and Chris are up next.
Television.
Thanks for making... Oh, yeah, we're on a YouTube channel. Go to our YouTube channel. They're going to be on. Thanks for making the front row part of your week.
Atlanta is on its way back, and the Fan and Extra 106.3 want to put your business in the small business spotlight. Presented by Georgia Primary Bank.
Oh, man, thank you guys for having us aboard. We appreciate what you're doing for small businesses. I think this is a great thing that the radio station is doing.
Tell us what's going on, what you need, and how we can help by sending an email to smallbusiness@680thefan.com. And every Friday, every show on both stations is highlighting some of Atlanta's incredible local businesses. The Small Business Spotlight, presented by Georgia Primary Bank. Your community, your bank. For more information on all the businesses we featured, visit 680thefan.com. Thanks for starting your day with the front row.
On WCNN North Atlanta, a Dickey broadcasting station.
Now, we hand it off to Cellini and Domino. Nick and Chris are taking you to noon as we roll on with the best sports talk in Atlanta.
Only on The Fan.
680 and 93.7 FM.
901, Domino and Cellini. It's The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Thanks for taking the time to listen and watch. On a Friday, we're on the Fan's YouTube channel, the entire program. Domino wearing a three-piece suit complete with a fob, looking very fancy, and a monocle this morning. So you'll want to see that at the Fan's YouTube channel. And a top hat, looking much like the Monopoly guy.
I broke into my Cam Newton collection. I just decided to channel.
You're not wearing a bonnet, so that's the only thing that's missing right now.
A pillbox hat, I believe, is what I've referred to it as.
But we do thank you for taking the time to listen. You can listen all the time via the mobile app.
Where's the camera? Over here?
Well, the camera's behind you, and there's one that's in front of you. I think there's one stationary camera on me, one stationary camera on you, and then we've got what they call a two-shot.
Wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
I've done some television in my day. I still recognize and remember some of those terms.
Whatever. Please, my God,
I need some foundation, though. If someone doesn't mind bringing me some pancake makeup.
Hey, Uncle Rico.
Yeah. I used to be on television. I used to play a little ball. There's a lot of things I used to do, which tells you I didn't do any of them well, because if I did any of them well, maybe I'd still be doing some of them today. But here I am with you.
You would not be sitting here, as we like to say.
Correct. So anyway, the Twitter question of the morning is, again, one for simpletons, the greatest television theme song of all time. Super 70s Sports, which in my opinion is a must-follow, said that the Monkees theme song is the greatest of all time. They dropped a couple of F-bombs as well, so I couldn't really reference that specifically. But anyway, that's what made me think of that this morning. And Sean Nerney, being the backbone of the program, I'm sure is going to have some songs that he'll be playing throughout the day. Anyway, it's the Ameripress fresh off the Press Twitter feed.
You do know most of them are crap. Like,
yes,
I'm not telling you they don't invoke a memory.
But they stay with you.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Right, but if you really, like, don't deep dive. Don't even kind of deep. Don't even go a layer and a half deep.
What do I say all the time? This show's amazingly stupid. Nobody's doing any deep dives. At Chris Domino, you can follow him on Twitter at Sean Nerney. At Cellini Nick, also at 680 The Fan. What did we just say a couple of days ago about little boys? They're stupid. Didn't I tell you that?
I believe that's been if not a truly recurring theme, it certainly has been discussed.
Well, the chickens have come home to roost. Case in point, yesterday, what do I tell my son all the time? Don't wear the slides, the flip-flops, whatever you want to call them, when you're riding your bike, especially if you're riding your bike on a trail through the woods. What did he do yesterday?
Well, I saw the picture. I know what he did.
He was riding his bike with slides on a trail through the woods. A tree fell because of the storm the other day, or at least a portion of a tree fell onto the trail. He didn't see it. He rode his bike into it, and he broke his pinky toe with baseball scheduled to start last night. So I don't know when he's going to be back, but a day was spent in the emergency room straightening out the toe, and now a trip to the ortho is next. Why? Well, going back to what I said a couple of days ago. Little boys, and you were one, and I was one, and Sean was one, and many of you out there were one. They're stupid.
Yeah.
They don't listen.
You tell me not to do that. Why wouldn't I want to do that?
The doctor told him the same thing. What are we going to do from now on? We're going to wear shoes? Yes, we're going to wear shoes. That's the right answer. Would have been the right answer before you broke your pinky toe as well.
So I was with you yesterday when I wasn't with you when you got the news, but you called me and said I have to do this. You had 2 moments. We were out at racetrack yesterday for about 2 hours. You had about 2 moments where the real you came out. That whole, I think you were sort of talking to me, but maybe you weren't. I think you were just sort of venting, talking to yourself.
Father. I have become the guy that I rallied against
Sean,
pretty much my entire life.
Maybe I'll actually play to the camera. Let me do my Nick Cellini impersonation yesterday, just randomly. Just sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear, I can't believe how many times I told him. Is he talking to me? And I just heard something sort of guttural, and I could tell you were getting frustrated.
So now no baseball.
Here's what I thought about doing. Every once in a while, and most parents out there, you've had a moment where you have to take your kid's phone away. I thought about taking your phone away. I said, because you're about to do or say something or type something that you're probably going to regret later. So why don't you give that to me?
Again, I've become my father. I have a scar that I showed you on my wrist. We had an old school storm door that would sit in front of the house, and you could change in the summer from the glass. It wasn't plexiglass at the time, to a screen when the weather would change. Your hand is raised.
Yeah, do you know what that was called?
What?
Air conditioning. When you put the screen in, that was air conditioning.
So it was still glass. The weather was changing. It was May, but we didn't change it over yet. So I went running out of the house, and I pushed on the glass instead of the handle of the door. My father told me a million times not to do that. Well, the glass broke. My hand went through, and I had to go get stitches. And they had to go get him from work to meet me in the hospital. The neighbors took me. And what did he do the entire time? How many times did I tell you? As I'm getting sewn up, blood everywhere. How many times did I tell you not to do that? You see now? This is why you don't do that. I didn't want to do that to my kid, so I was thinking it.
Yeah,
but I become him.
There were a couple of times where I really thought about taking your phone because I said, you're about to type something to your wife, or you're about to leave a message or flat out call your kid, and you're going to do something that I don't necessarily want to be around, and you might not want to have to deal with later. That's all.
And let me back Nico up on this one. I feel like he could have been doing something much more reckless. This almost seems like one of those, like, freak situations almost. A fallen tree branch while you're riding your bike. He wasn't trying to do anything too risky.
No, I mean, listen, in retrospect, Sean, you're right. It could have been much worse. But if he had shoes on, like he should have had, then maybe he just bruises his foot.
Well, the point is there's a time and a place for everything. By the pool slides. You want to, but you're saying, now, I don't want to get into any kind of trouble. What's the law about wearing a helmet? You don't have to lie. Oh, you're going to lie right now. You're going to tell me. You're going to tell me, look at the camera and say,
no.
He was wearing a helmet.
He never wears a helmet. I'm going to tell you that right now. He doesn't wear one. He should probably, but he doesn't. I don't think law requires you to wear a helmet while you're riding a bicycle.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so.
Not in a residential area, anyway. Okay. It's not like a motorcycle.
All right. I thought they were kids' motorcycles. That's what I thought a bike was. It's a kid's motorcycle.
It was a bicycle, but...
No. Isn't a bicycle a kid's motorcycle?
Listen, he wasn't wearing a helmet, but I think I understand your point. It could have been much, much, much worse.
But the point...
for me, I can relate because I was in the middle of a travel baseball season when I lived up in Maryland for a few years, and I decided to climb a tree and attempt to swing on a vine. I fell, and I... sprained my ankle pretty bad, missed the rest of the season. That probably deserved a slapping.
Well, you thought you were Tarzan, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell.
But this goes back to what we say, and if you have young kids, you know, especially young boys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're stupid. They don't listen. Little girls, they become more difficult as they get older. I have a couple of daughters. You do too. They're easy when they're little girls.
Oh, yeah.
As they get older, you have to worry. Little boys, they're just stupid. They're reckless. They break things. They have the want and the need to jump off of things.
Don't forget they smell.
Yeah,
They smell.
And now he's like, Dad, I can't shower for a couple of days because I get on him to shower all the time, and so now that's his excuse.
Hold on. Let me.
He doesn't want to take a shower.
Well, that's
because he's stupid.
That's different than not being able to shower. You put your foot in a big baggie. You get one of them gallon baggies. You put a rubber band around it, and you take a shower.
And I was told, take it easy. He's had a rough day. I said, he's had a rough day. He stinks.
See, this is...
to high heaven.
So, by the way...
I feel like I'm in a zoo.
You just proved my point. He's had a rough day. I've had to deal with this. I had a rough day.
It's always about me. You know that. The NBA, one player, your buddy, Domino, says this could be about him. We'll get to that in just a second, but we're starting to hear solid dates when it comes to the NBA. July the 9th through the 11th, that's when camps are going to open, and then a brief quarantine before the formal training camps, and then the regular season is July the 30th. And they say of the 22 teams down there in Orlando in that bubble, now 14 of them will be eliminated within 53 days of arriving. Only 4 teams will remain after 67 days. So it's not going to be all that bad for everybody.
53 days is bad. I don't know why they're releasing these numbers. I don't really care.
Well, that's my point. I don't think they're helping their cause.
Just go play. If I'm a guy and
These
I go,
when the games are going to be played.
hell yeah, I'm an NBA player. I want to play. Hold on, I'm gonna
do what?
I'm there for at least 53 days. But just again, this goes back to why is everybody talking? Just tell me when you're going to play. At what point do I have to put on my TV? I'll determine at that point. Do I watch this game? Not that one. Do I watch that game? Oh, that one I'll watch. 5 days in quarantine, 72 hours without whatever. I don't care. Good Lord, I know that somebody is dying for details, Darren Ravel, so he can just cut and paste and steal other people's crap.
You
Whatever.
sound like you're talking about me.
And
I give more credit than credit's due, though.
So you started to read that, and I know you read it before, kind of, and then you started, I can always tell when you start to read, you go, oh, damn, I either lost my spot.
No, I didn't lose my spot anymore.
Or there's one more detail I want to add, and maybe I didn't highlight that detail.
Yeah, that could be it, but I didn't lose my spot.
53
it's not
days.
my first day on the job.
67 days, 74 days. We're all going to stay in one hotel.
Well, the rosters could also stand around 17. They said it was going to be 15, and it could get up to 20, Chris. So these are the numbers we're hearing that are still being bandied about with the NBA season about to begin.
What do I need 20 guys for? I don't need 15. If I'm trying...
Soft tissue injuries, Chris, because people haven't played in a while. Don't make that noise. I'm just telling you. I'm trying to answer your question.
How about this? If a guy goes down, he goes down. Now you're playing with 14, 20 guys. If I'm an NBA playoff type team, and I believe that this season matters, and that's going to be the premise, I want to win a championship, I don't go to 11 guys. There's going to be 9 more guys beyond the last guy that I truly want to put into a game. God bless. I'm up for everybody getting paid. If that means guys get paid, if they're okay with the 53 days and it makes 20 guys on an NBA roster, that's absurd.
Now, think about this. Portland is on the outside looking in right now, but they're one of the 22 teams because they do have a shot to be a postseason team. Carmelo Anthony plays for Portland. Your friend, your confidant.
Yeah.
Let's just say Carmelo Anthony doesn't seem to be too confident with everything surrounding the world right now as far as playing in this bubble in Orlando.
As far as actually playing and going back down into Orlando, I'm still up in the air a little bit because I really don't, we don't have all the details. We don't know a lot of information. So until we have that, it's kind of hard to just, commit to it 100%.
Now, he's not the only guy. We've heard 40 to 50 players having conversations about their concerns as far as being down there with the pandemic still sweeping the nation.
Can we go to the video from a couple of weeks ago when I said, if you think this is going to be as easy as they're trying to make it out, hey, man, we're just going to go down to Florida and play. No, there's going to be, what are we doing about safety? What are we doing about accommodations? What am I doing? I can't sleep in that bed. Have you seen the size of that bed? That's for a guy from New Jersey who's 6 feet. I can't. I got to bring my own bed. I might have to bring my bed for 53 days. There was going to be so many layers to this. I don't care what Carmelo Anthony does or doesn't do. I'm going to go back to what we asked yesterday and beforehand. Are you a bad teammate if you say, those 13 guys are going, but me, I'm out? What does it tell you about you? Does it stick with you? I don't know the answers long term. I'm not telling you he's not concerned about safety. When you're saying, I'm not sure I want to play, just don't play. Like, don't talk about it. Don't be convinced. Don't be. I'm already, look, I just want games. If you want to give me games, give me games. All of these nonsense, this layer to this layer to this layer. I'm not saying the safety part is nonsense. I'm talking about the things that everybody just thought, if we give a date, everybody goes to Florida and we play. If we give a date, everybody goes to Arizona and we play. That's not possible. It's not possible. 40 to 50 guys might not play. So let me ask, who's the biggest name that decides they're not going to play? And what does that guy have to live with from here on out?
That was going to be my question. Let's just say the top 3 teams, as we know, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Bucks. Does anyone from any of those 3 teams say, thanks, but no thanks?
I don't know.
I'm not playing.
It's a real thing.
Because fair or unfair, if one of those teams has a member that does that, then forever, much like Scottie Pippen, no matter what they do down the road, it'll come up in the conversation. Fair or unfair, and people will judge them based on that.
You didn't think it was important enough for you to be here to help us win a championship? Again, short of a guy being compromised medically, Why is your information a little bit different than mine? Oh, wait, I have an 82-year-old mother that lives with me. Okay. Is that going to be enough to have a guy avoid the stink eye of you didn't show up when the rest of us did? I have no idea.
If you talk about an older mother or father, then maybe someone's going to give you a break. But we know the world of social media. Someone's not going to give you a break. It's going to stay with you.
It just wasn't going to be this easy. It was never going to be, if we tell them, they'll all show up and we'll play. And don't worry about money. We'll figure that out later. You think I'm kidding about the rooms. Can you imagine with some of the egos on these guys? Well, why does he get a room that I don't get? Why does that guy get he's got a couch?
But you're right. That would be much like a Hard Knock situation, must-see reality TV, would it not be? And also, think about this. If a team like, going back to the Last Dance, if a team like the Bulls is playing a team like the Pistons and they're staying in the same hotel, there's going to be beefs. They're going to be fighting in the lobby.
That's not today's game. That's not today.
You never know.
These guys be playing cards and smoking weed together.
Then maybe tempers flare. Nah, that's not going to happen.
No, they're going to mellow it out a little bit.
Yeah, nobody gets angry after smoking weed.
I thought I didn't like you. Yeah, not so bad.
You know what? You're an all right guy, man. I like you.
I'd like to see what the grocery...
You're crazy. You're like Will Ferrell after he gets the tranquilizer dart in Old School. I like you. You're crazy.
What's the groceries bill going to be? I'm serious. Like, who goes shopping? I'm sure there's a shopper guy now for every team, right? A shopper woman, a nutritionist.
Yeah, they used to call them traveling secretaries. They have to kind of lay out everything when a team goes on the road.
Oh, not today, brother. You got to feed these guys like they're sitting in 5 stars.
It's a little more complex. There's not just a tray of cold cuts sitting in the locker room any longer.
All right, guys.
The peanut butter
all right, guys, I'm getting subs. What do you want? You want an Italian? That is not going to be what
you
this
got. The
is.
capicola. The guy comes in the room, starts tossing subs to people. I got the turkey and Swiss.
Good luck to all parties. Just tell me when
Gonna get some cold cuts today.
It's a little bit more complex.
Tell me when the games are going to be played.
I agree. The 9 o'clock hour, driven to you by Auto Gallery Chevrolet and Commerce, home of the lifetime warranty. Check them out online at autogallerychevrolet.com. There's also plans for according to the LA Times, a documentary on Magic Johnson. The filmmakers have been granted unprecedented access for this documentary. So could this be translated into or turned into a Last Dance situation?
What's
could
he
ESPN
doing?
Get their hands on this?
Hold on. So they just told these guys what's Magic doing that's so interesting now?
I mean, do you just go over the course?
You might be 25 years late with getting the behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm sure that stuff is filed away someplace.
Well, that's my question. Do you have enough out there where you can go back to his days at Michigan State,
I don't know.
Transforming the point guard position, the rivalry with Larry Bird?
They're starting the documentary late.
His time in Los Angeles.
What's he doing now that's so interesting?
Coming
By the way,
back,
I see him on my...
I mean, there's a lot of storylines here.
I see him on my TV every 10 minutes. Every time there's a question, let's go get Magic. And Magic does it. That's great. But that's not documentary worthy. What is he doing day to day? Now, if you're going to tell me it's going to be about the business side of Magic Johnson.
I'm sure that'll be included as well. I'm just giving you some ideas. I'm spitballing here. We're shooting them all down. Pow, pow, pow.
Hey, Sean, I'm going to make a documentary. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you Magic Zoom calls. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit more than that when they say unprecedented access.
His life is fascinating. But if you're just starting a documentary now, you miss the good stuff. Just letting you know, you missed the good stuff.
Well, I think they will. Much like with Michael Jordan, they'll go back in time. I don't know what kind of old documents they have and old film they have and interviews. I don't know what they have. It's probably not going to be like The Last Dance because that last season they were given unprecedented access.
Right.
The NBA because they knew it was going to be The Last Dance, but you give it a shot.
All right, guys, we're thinking about a Magic documentary. Somebody fire up the DeLorean. We've got to go back to the really interesting stuff. I don't know. You think there's some footage somewhere of Magic kicking it out to Worthy? Oh, yeah, he filled the lane. Look at that.
Sometimes I just can't have a conversation with you.
Ready for the day? Yeah, neither are we. It's time to rip and read.
Well, let's talk about what's going on in the NFL. The offer to fight social injustice, they upped the ante, and this coach says the next step could be even bigger. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel is on the course at the Colonial. They're playing some golf. He'll check in with us around 10:20. And are they going to play baseball? Are they not going to play baseball? Are they any closer? Our friend Pedro Gomez from ESPN joins us at 11:05. All of that is ahead.
Say hello to the people. We haven't even officially said good morning to everybody on
When
YouTube.
we come back, Matt Ryan provides these words of wisdom and confidence.
Is Matt Ryan going to be here with us?
As he looks ahead to 2020. He's not, but he will be here in spirit. It's Domino, it's Cellini on the Fans YouTube channel until noon. It's the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM.
You know, the brotherhood that we talk about all the time, it's real.
The 9 a.m. hour is driven by Auto Gallery Chevrolet in Commerce, home of the lifetime warranty. Online at autogallerychevrolet.com.
Listen up for a game changer in 2020. King here. You've heard me talk about Rhonda Duffy and Duffy Realty for a decade, and now fan listeners can join Rhonda's exclusive Buyers Club and receive up to half her commission. That's right, up to half her commission. So on a $300,000 home purchase, for instance, you get a check for about $4,500. Nobody else is doing that, and it's easy. Rhonda shows you any listings you want to see, hers or theirs. Not every agent will do that. Handles the contract, and you amazingly get up to half of her commission. Just another of the many benefits Rhonda has built into her Duffy Realty model since 2002, all to benefit you, the 680 listener. And as always, you can list and sell everything for a total of around 1% of the sales price, like I have done 3 times, making nearly $35,000. Rhonda, you continue to rock. So call to get up to half of Rhonda's buyer's commission today. DuffyBuyerClub.com.
Duffy Realty ATL.com.
Back to work at that job, the one you realized isn't for you? Well, that's if you're lucky, right? Make your move. You can start a new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months from the comfort of your own home, even if you have zero computer experience. Take control of your future now. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Summer's here, your lawn needs a reliable lawnmower, and the guys at Howard Brothers want that mower to be a Honda. Honda mowers are reliable. They can mulch, bag, shred leaves, discharge the clippings with no extra tools or attachments. If you've already got a Honda mower and been using it every week this year, it's probably time to clean or change the air filter and sharpen the blades. Well, the folks at Howard Brothers can help. Howard Brothers got 5 locations that serve North Georgia in Alpharetta, Athens, Dorville, Duluth, and Oakwood. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Honda and Hobro.
If you're looking for a career change, what if I told you there's a place that actually has a wall of fame on their website to see who's gone to work where? That's Complete Game Broadcasting. A 9-week program, day and evening, is available, so you have the technical skills to walk in the door once all of this is behind us. If you're looking for the career change, if you have a high school student who's thinking about majoring in communications, you can actually find out all about it at CompleteGameStudio.com. Don't let the opportunity pass you by. If this is what you want, you can go get it with Complete Game. Talk directly to Tim Nunn, owner-director of Complete Game Broadcasting at 404-929-0523.
What's your car worth? Find out now at JimEllisBuysCars.com, the safe and hassle-free way to sell your car. Plus, Jim Ellis will beat any CarMax purchase offer by $500. Sell Jim Ellis your car today. Fast, easy, fair. JimEllisBuysCars.com.
This is the Fans Sports Center.
From the Breda Pest Sports Desk, visit BredaPest.com.
College football is coming together. Good morning. The Sports Center brought to you by Central.
Central Heating and Air, your Atlanta carrier expert, where you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and it's still that way today. CentralHeat.com.
The NCAA Oversight Committee passed a 6-week practice plan for the season starting on time for teams that will begin the season on Labor Day weekend. The workouts would begin on July the 13th. The NFL notified teams that virtual off-season work will last until June the 26th, but there will be no in-person mini camps. The league plans to increase its social justice footprint by pledging to donate $250 million over a 10-year period. And the second round of the Colonial is happening today. Justin Rose will tee off a little bit after noon. He is your leader at 7 under par. You're listening to the most powerful voice in sports, the Fan 680, 93.7 FM.
The NBA is back next month, and only one Atlanta station brings you every playoff game and every long-awaited moment of the 2020 NBA Finals.
And it's over! The Raptors have their first championship. They dethrone the dynasty.
As the league gears up for an unprecedented return, trust Atlanta's hometown team and the worldwide resources of ESPN for all the latest updates and live call of all the big games.
Hey, it's Shaq O'Neal. When you want the biggest and best playoff coverage in Atlanta, we are the only place to get it.
This is Atlanta's 28-year home for the NBA, The Fan.
825, Domino, Cellini, The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Also on The Fan's YouTube channel today. Subscribe and like as the show is on television till 12 o'clock. It's our Twitter question of the morning, the greatest TV show theme of all time, Hawaii Five-0. Somebody nominating that, obviously. And the show, not the newer version, but the original version, way ahead of its time, much like Miami Vice. Not all of them, much like Law & Order, not all of them had happy endings. A lot of times you walked away similar to the feeling you had at the end of the movie Seven. What did I just watch? What just happened?
Well, a little bit tamer than the end of
Not a
Seven.
lot of times.
Yeah, most
Who's
of
in the box?
Yeah, I don't remember that on Hawaii Five-0.
You had a dark pall cast over you as some of those episodes ended.
It is funny that we have the cameras in here right now. May I? Because I think there was always in those types of shows, they would have that moment where we found out something else about the crime, and then somebody would just do this. Now, again, if you're not on YouTube, if you're not watching us with a hidden camera in here
What are you
someplace,
doing, man? Jump aboard. Everybody's doing it.
Hold on, I've got to get to the right place. I want you to tell me something shocking. And we found, here's your line, and we found out it was his sister.
And we found out, Detective, it was his sister. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, like and subscribe because you're missing stuff like that if you're not. The 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Auto Gallery Chevrolet. Don't forget the Buck and Kincaid Classic is coming up. And if you or someone you know is a COVID-19 frontline worker or essential employee in need of a great day at golf, nominate yourself or that friend to play in a foursome with Buck and Kincaid at that 19th annual Georgia's Own Credit Union Buck and Kincaid Classic. It's all presented by Southern Company and the PGA Tour Superstore. Visit 680thefan.com/foursomes to nominate someone today. So Matt Ryan, like the rest of us, Chris, has seen what the pundits are saying about his Falcons
Is he
team.
angry?
And by the way,
is he going to do something about it?
a couple of national pundits have some really good things to say about two key members of the Falcons as far as being breakout stars this year. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. But Matt Ryan, in response to those that are picking the Falcons as an afterthought in the NFC South, said, and I quote, "I have the belief that we are right there with all of those teams. They have to deal with us as well. We create a number of issues for these teams to go against. If we play our best, we can go toe-to-toe with anyone any week." Now, while that's not exactly a wrestling promo that he cut, still, relatively speaking, for a guy like Matt Ryan, those could be strong words.
Yeah, he just went crazy. I want you to read that last line again because, again, I want to react to it because we're on YouTube. Yeah, just read me the last line.
If we play our best, we can go toe-to-toe with anyone any week. I'm sensing a theme today from Chris Domino.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Matt Ryan has spoken because he was asked to speak, and we like us better than you might like us. And what's next? We shut out the outside world. It's just noise. It's only about the 53 guys in this room. I know it, and you know it. You can write the script, and I ain't angry at him. Somebody asked him a question. The idea now, is this a concession that he does understand that some people aren't as high on them as maybe some others will be, he believes should be? Is this a concession speech that he's heard a little bit of a,
well, of course,
there's an awareness that maybe some people are doubting the Atlanta Falcons in 2020?
As well they should be. The coaches are in trouble. The GM's in trouble if you don't start off good.
Well, you just made Matt Ryan's list. What do you mean they should be?
That's fine.
I was going to ask, didn't you hear what the man said, but you actually read it.
He said, if we play our best. Well, at times, especially at the beginning of the last 2 years, you did not play your best football. And if that happens again this year, you're going to be behind the eight ball, and people will lose their jobs by the halfway point of the season. Here is Dan Quinn holding on to his job, still talking about the virtual off-season.
I think you just keep coming back to the readiness of the team. Way early on, Trey, we had told the players when this was going to happen in terms of doing things virtually, there was going to have to be some player coach going on for a while until we got back together. And so I've been pumped for the guys, knowing what they put in together on the field, away from the buildings and away from the office. So I think we'll have to be adjustable, man. That's the biggest takeaway I've got from this. So much has changed in our world and our work for you guys and for us too over the last 3 months. And I have a sense it'll probably change again, man.
Yeah, there is something else coming. That's right. It's the NBA. Well, we're going to go to Florida, but there's something else coming. We might have some guys that don't want to play. Oh, gosh, that's a big something else. I also know why coaches have to, and I'm sure it's happening in Pittsburgh because they're playing a cut from Mike Tomlin, and it's happening in Kansas City. They're playing a cut from Andy Reid. I believe that most guys have been smart enough to keep themselves in shape the best they can. So I'm going to start with that as a minimum. There's nothing short of being a fat ass during all this that would tell me that you're going to be in any better or worse shape as a football team this year. I know you don't get to see them in person and they're not in your building, but do you agree that the mantra of, hey, man, I feel good about the work these guys are doing, they're not doing football work. They're just doing hopefully a little bit more than a minimum to come in and hit the ground running. But every coach who's pitching this idea of, hey, man, we're going to be in a great place because our guys have taken this time seriously. There's no football in that. Why do I think you're a better football team? Because guys aren't sitting around eating cake.
Well, much
better
like
that they're not.
Much like the pandemic, nobody knows anything right now. You are hoping you'll be a better football team because you are hoping that all of your players followed whatever plan the strength and conditioning department put together. You don't know that for sure. Your fingers are crossed.
If guys are in shape, let's start again with a minimum. I'm not saying great shape. They're in shape. They're ready to go. And we found out, by the way, there's no mini camps. It's going to be camp. You've got to come in, and now you have another month and a half.
As we mentioned during the update, that's it. There are no mini camps. You're not going to be at that facility until training camp actually begins.
There's nothing about what a guy does in the offseason, short of taking care of himself, that tells me he'll be a better football player this year, which is the ridiculousness of, I'm not telling you mandate 365. You can call them up, and they have to show up. But don't you think this goes back to why wouldn't a camp be open? Coaches get paid for the year. Guy wants to be there. Hey, guys, Sean, I know at 12 years old, you can't have your kids out there 7 days a week. That's ridiculous. You can't have them out there 365. But at the professional level, if you tell me that 2 days a week, come on, at 3 days a week, guys, we're going to look at film, we're going to do some football stuff, we're going to get better at football. Isn't that more than just sitting around doing leg presses?
Well, I would imagine, but right now that's all you can really do.
That's all they could do for years.
You're just having a discussion about playing on the offensive line.
Is anybody getting better at football right now, Sean?
There's ways to stay in shape. I mean, you can study a lot more, but I hear what you're saying. I mean, yeah, anything is better than nothing, but I mean, you know, for me personally, I think we're cleared to start doing anything team related. Next Monday is actually the first day, and they're very stingy. I mean, I coach 8th grade football. We have a list of rules. If we don't follow them to a T, and they said it's a 5-year suspension for us if we don't follow these rules to a T. That's 8th grade.
Mind your P's and Q's is what they're basically telling you, because we'll take it away from you. If you like it, it might not be there. Nick, again, I'm not being a jerk. Running with a parachute behind you, I'm trying to get some speed. That's good. There's nothing that would tell me that you individually are going to be a better football player, and more importantly, us collectively.
I understand what you're saying. Nothing is guaranteed. In less than 5 minutes, this Super Bowl winning coach calls out the NFL. How do they respond? That's the question. Before we get to that, though, Good Morning Football on the NFL Network. Their panel was asked the question, who is going to be your breakout player this year? Not in the NFC South, but in the NFC overall. Nate Burleson selects Calvin Ridley from the Falcons.
It's tough to say that he's going to have a breakout year because he already has 17 touchdowns in a couple of seasons. I mean, I wish I had 17 going into year 3. But I would say yes, though, for the simple fact that there is no more Devontae Freeman. I mean, there is no more Austin Hooper. So there's going to be balls that are available. Now targets can go more towards Calvin Ridley. And let's just keep it real, man. He's still playing with Julio Jones, who is considered the best receiver. I mean, he's right up there with Michael Thomas and individuals like A.J. Green if he can get back healthy. But Calvin Ridley being in a position that I was for so long, playing next to Randy Moss, playing next to Calvin Johnson, there's a certain luxury you have when you're starting receivers taking away all of the attention. If he can put up 1,600 yards, almost 1,700 yards and 17 touchdowns in the first 2 seasons, I guarantee he'll ball out this year.
Now, that's voiceover music. Again, we're on the YouTube channel right now. When you hear that music, that's when they go to the video. That's called a voiceover. You're talking over the video. That's why you heard that music kick in.
Well, look at
I'm just trying to help people out so they understand why the music's playing.
Yeah, it's not that they feel that everything everybody says is so lyrical that, my God, this guy should have his own band. You're right. That is what is happening.
And Calvin Ridley, much like many others, including his offensive coordinator, feel like despite the fact that he has scored 17 touchdowns in his first 2 years, he is just scratching the surface.
I do think if you ask breakout, we know Calvin Ridley. I'm not so sure average football fans. We talked about Kansas City. We talked about going up to Pittsburgh. Do they know Calvin Ridley? No. I think what Burleson is saying is more people will know his name. I'm going to pick him to be the guy that more people are talking about that they didn't really know anything about by the time the season is done. I'll take it every day. again, it leads me to believe when you have to pay Calvin Ridley, what are you going to have to pay him? And is Julio Jones going to be on the last year of his deal when you have to do that on top of it?
But these are all problems.
That's going to be very expensive receivers.
These are all problems to work through down the line. Nate Burleson says Calvin Ridley is his breakout player in the NFC this season. Mike Garofalo says another Falcon, Hayden Hurst, is his breakout player in the NFC this year.
So I've got the entire NFL to pick from to counter your argument here. I don't need the other 31. I'm staying with the Falcons. I am going with Hayden Hurst, the tight end who came in from Baltimore, where they really didn't get to use his skill set maybe the way they had initially imagined. And I am so glad we are showing this play right now, because on this play, Hayden Hurst was clocked at 20.5 miles per hour. This was week 14, the fastest of any Ravens player to that point in the season, and we know there are a lot of fast players on the Ravens. So Matt Ryan saying this guy is going to be a matchup nightmare, finally going to have his skill set utilized. Breakout for Hayden Hurst.
I want to say that was because I didn't see it, but I'm assuming it was the long touchdown that he had against the Buffalo Bills that Garofalo was referencing there from Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, I'm assuming they didn't show 2 drops while the music was playing.
Probably not.
Point. Wrong footage. All right. Their mouth to God's ear, as I like to say.
All right, is it starting to scare you now that everybody seems to be jumping on not only the Calvin Ridley bandwagon, but now we all agree Hayden Hurst could have a breakout year, wasn't afforded the opportunities in Baltimore that he's going to be afforded in this offense with the Falcons?
I ain't scared because I actually believe it. I believe he's a good fit. I believe with what's going on the outside for this guy. And, Sean, I agree with you, and we talked about it from the minute you got him. I think he's a first-round talent guy who's going to have an opportunity to look like a first-round talent guy here.
Yeah, it just sounds like the local guys were on top of this from the beginning, and then it's slowly starting to trickle. You hear Matt Ryan talk about it, bring him up, and the national guys catch on board, and now on National's story, he's going to be the breakout.
It's interesting because his personal story, I think, has got people to pay attention, and maybe you go back and go in college, and then you go, oh, he kind of got caught up in a numbers logjam in Baltimore, and it wasn't the type of quarterback that maybe, because of what they run and how many rushing touchdowns, Matt Ryan ain't that. And I just think that that's the other part of it. He's going to get enough snaps, be on the field for enough, and I got a quarterback who, by the way, whether it's Tony Gonzalez or whether it's Austin Hooper, Matt Ryan is going to look for a tight end. In Matt Ryan's world, if he's protected, going to the third option is a real thing.
And it's no secret, too, when he's as public as he is about his personal demons that he's overcome.
It's a rootability.
Find him to be, you're right, a very rootable player. And that touchdown against Buffalo was a 61-yard pass from Lamar Jackson that is clearly the biggest play of his career. Feel free, as you're watching us on the 680 The Fan YouTube channel, to click over and search that on YouTube and check out that video as well of Hayden Hurst scoring that touchdown against Buffalo last year.
Sounds like a lot of work. Why don't you just take our word for it? It was a 61-yard touchdound and stay right here.
Or make a mental note and feel free to watch it a little bit later on.
I will also offer this up. You YouTube rabbit hole, I've done it, but you go down different rabbit holes than I do. How desperate are you if you actually have made a mental note to go back and look at the 61-yard touchdown? The touchdown for Hayden Hurst.
Maybe you're working from home and you don't have much to do. You got some free time around lunch. As soon as the program ends, you grab a sandwich and you watch the highlight. Then you go on with the rest of your day. I don't think it's asking too much.
I don't know. Go read a book. That's one of the problems. Go read a book.
You can still do that. I mean, it takes 10 seconds or so to check out this video. We talked about that play, and we talked about Hayden Hurst playing for the Ravens last year. Their head coach, John Harbaugh, isn't so sure about the NFL's plan to restart their season.
I'm going to tell you what, nobody knows, and the experts don't know. And, everybody wants to CYA it, too. So
right.
I've seen all the memos on that, and to be quite honest with you, it's impossible what they're asking us to do. Humanly impossible. So, we're going to do everything we can do. We're going to space. We're going to have masks. But, this is a communication sport. So we want to get out there and actually have any idea about what we're doing on the field. We've got to be able to communicate with each other in person. We have to practice, and I'm pretty sure the huddle's not going to be 6 feet spaced. So.
Are guys going to shower one at a time all day? Are guys going to lift weights one at a time all day? He talked about that. 13-hour days in training camp. How do we work through all of this doing these things that are humanly, to quote him, impossible?
And by the way, I think I don't want to call him the smarter brother. That was John, right?
I think he's the more normal of the two brothers.
He's asking the questions that, again, I think everybody just wants, don't worry, man. We'll get to that when we get to that. But there's a lot of close proximity. Do you think they bring weights out and stuff to the outside?
Like Georgia Tech does before games sometimes? Why not? I mean, you're outdoors. They say it's safer outdoors.
Right. If you're going to do sessions, we're going to spread guys out. And over here, you're going to do your version of
I always wondered about that, like Muscle Beach, people lifting weights on the beach. When the sun beats down on steel, it gets hot. So how do you, the bench has got to be hot. How do you work through this?
They have their own special metals at Muscle Beach. I don't know if you know that.
I was not aware.
I mean, we land stuff on Mars. Of course they figured that out. Let's not have the hot metal at the beach outside. Let's go with the special metal.
Because in theory, I understand. You're on the beach, you want to work out, you want to stay outside, you look good, but you lay down on that leather. I mean, you've done it in the car. I mean, it burns you.
Have you seen those guys? Those guys are on so much jazz, nothing could affect them. You could throw them on the sun, and I think they survive.
I was going to say it's all alleged, but when you look at the pictures, like look at those muscle and fitness magazines that are out to this day. There's no way you can humanly look like that unless you're taking a lot of stuff.
Or you're not human. I mean, there's a chance that some of these guys truly aren't human. When you have...
I do basic sets of 12, 10, 8. No, you don't.
When you have 3 levels to your bicep or 4 levels to your traps, when you can throw a trap, you can crab, and you can go, there's 1. Hold on, I'm not done yet. Boom, there's 2. Boom, 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 there's 3. That's the pose. You want to say, this is this. And again, I know it's a visual world, but just think about it. Your bicep actually goes this to this to this. It's like a cartoon. Men's traps shouldn't be above the top of their ears. That's not regular. It ain't normal. And do I think that you probably, as we say nicely, need a little help to get there? My guess would be yes.
So you're saying if you have that much jazz, to quote you, running through your body, you don't have to worry about your skin getting burned?
No.
Like a superhero in that regard, because let's face it, you look like one.
I think you could have hot oil thrown right into your face, and I think you're like Teflon. You just go, excuse me, anybody have a napkin? And you dab it off.
Fair enough. Peach Pass knows every little bit counts. We're all in this together, even people like that. That's why we want to give you Atlanta Braves tickets. Go to 680thefan.com/BeBraveAtlanta to nominate a healthcare professional, retail employee, transit worker, or first responder to win a Braves ticket 4-pack each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We announce a winner. Today's winner is Jasmine Carr. Jasmine works at Piedmont Hospital. She was nominated by Taya Field. So congratulations, Jasmine. When and if baseball returns, you get a Braves 4-pack.
I want you to think about this out in the YouTube world and here in our little radio world. What do you think the average guy, dumbbells on a rack, he's got to pick up 2 dumbbells, and he's got to do 3 curls with each arm. Curls.
3 of them.
Yes. You can't just hit your back and just chuck it. You have to stand there, and we would do, like you got to say, 3 curls each arm. What do you think the average guy, the weight that's possible at? Dumbbell curls. I was going to go a straight bar and go how many times. That's hitching the back, and that's a lot of junk in there. Dumbbells by your side. You've got to do 3 with each arm.
Is it unreasonable to say 25 pounds?
No, I don't think that. I think that's probably good. I think 25 pounds is you're fine.
I think there might be some people around here that can't do that, but I think it's reasonable when you talk about the average person being
40-year-old guy.
Only 3? We're talking about males?
Yes.
All right.
You got to remember,
so you say
Sean,
go higher.
Yeah, I think 25 is light.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, if you're going 3, I mean, and I've never done 3 sets of 3, but I would say, hell, I would have said 35 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit skewed because I could do a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the right number is.
I do sets of like 15 personally, Chris. I don't know. 3. I
mean, to me, starting with 25s.
I just asked for the average guy who doesn't lift weights. You want him to do 15? He won't lift his arms for 3 weeks. He's going to be useless to himself and his family.
He may tear a bicep.
Of course.
It's only 3, though.
By the way.
It is only 3. But, again, we're skewed.
Yeah, no, world-class athletes such as yourselves. I mean.
Well, no, I mean, I go inside and eat a pint of ice cream after I do my set.
I used to see that, you know. You know the Big Show, Paul White?
Yeah.
He used to show up at the old Main Event Fitness where the wrestlers worked out. He'd just sit there, and I'd see him be sitting on that couch when you first walk in eating ice cream. Everybody else would be working out. He's eating ice cream.
What does that say?
I'm not really sure this is a part of your routine.
What does that say? Not
supposed to be.
What's that say about a man where he could have eaten the ice cream in his home or even in his car? He had to bring it into the gym. What does that say about a man?
Well, what it says is I'm huge and I can do whatever I want. And there's nothing you can do about it. And really, in retrospect, he was right. Who was going to say anything to him?
Do you think the average guy would take steroids right now?
The average guy?
A guy who says, I want to go to the gym, or I kind of go to the gym. A 40-year-old guy.
Like, are we talking about they do your blood work, like, legitimately? They help you?
I mean filthy.
Like lowtnation.com? You're talking about the wrestler, like that guy in the locker room?
I mean dirty.
I got some of these, I got some of these, and I got some of those. I don't think a lot of people would do that.
We're past that?
We are past
Okay, I'm just asking.
Because that's a felony.
No.
Back in our time, it wasn't a felony.
Felony? It was encouraged.
Well, that's true, too.
I mean, it was. Hey, I encourage you to rob a bank. I encourage you to do some jazz.
You need to go to sleep. I got this for you. You need to wake up. I got this for you. You want to get stronger. I got this for you. You want to get cut up. I got this for you. That guy laid everything out. And shockingly, that guy got busted later on for selling steroids. That guy wasn't acting. I think he really thought he was doing a deal with Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler.
I know more about clenbuterol than I'm supposed to know because in 1985 at a Gold's Gym in Milltown, I was told what clenbuterol could do for you.
Rips you up, man.
Matt.
Takes the body fat out of you.
I'm going to ask you right now. Would you as a dad do something that you go, oh, I'm not really sure? Like, would you do steroids? You're past that. You want to lose 15 more pounds. Okay. He's sort of averagey. Conscientious father. No, conscientious father.
So if you're saying Matt's the average guy, I think Matt can do 25 pounds, 3 curls with a dumbbell.
I ask him. He's right there.
I think he can do it. If you say he's the average guy, then 25.
50-pound dumbbells, Matt? Could you grab 50-pound dumbbells, do 3 curls with each arm right now? 50-pound dumbbells.
That's a lot. I don't know if he can do that. I can't.
Here he goes. Here comes the judging. Hold on. If you were waiting for the judgment moment, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Look in the camera and judge. This is so perfect for you. Like, don't put your head down and judge.
Listen,
You've got an opportunity to judge right into a camera.
I didn't start this. I'm just doing my best to keep up with the conversation. When we come back, golf has come back and why Jim Nantz had to issue a live on-air apology from the opening round of the Colonial.
Sorry!
Speaking of which, Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel is there. He's not going to issue an apology, but he will join us.
Is he there
at
legally?
10:30. Yeah.
He's not skulking around, is he?
Members of the media have been on the course and will continue to be on the course through today's second round. Domino and Cellini on the YouTube channel as well. Like and subscribe at the 680 The Fan YouTube channel. It is The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
All right, my friends at Georgia Home Theater, you know them, GHTgroup.com on the web. They know that you've been spending a lot of time inside. And so that means you want to have the best in audio and video equipment and home theater setup for your home base. Now, though, we're all getting out, and we're getting out more. And for a lot of us, that means being able to enjoy outdoor living space. And right now, you realize that you want a better outdoor audio, outdoor video system. Maybe it's home security and landscape lighting. My friends at Georgia Home Theater at GHTgroup.com on the web can do all of that for you. And they've got a beautiful 20,000 square foot design center right in Marietta across from Dobbins Air Force Base. So you can see all the different options that are available to you. It's not just TVs and stereo systems in your home. It is the best in home security, home theater, home audio, inside and out. So for all those things, and some you may not even have thought about yet, let my friends at Georgia Home Theater win your business. GHTgroup.com. That's GHTgroup.com. Let GHT Group make your home great.
Are you overpaying for car maintenance? Do you even know if you're overpaying? Well, I can't tell you how often I hear people talking about the cost of service at the dealership. If you don't know if you're getting a good deal or not, why don't you actually go get a good deal? Hey guys, it's Chris Domino, and if you want a better value for vehicle maintenance, there's a better option. Rocco's European Garage. Rocco's is who I trust and who I recommend to friends and family. The team, and it is a team at Rocco's European Garage, the best in technicians, offer quality service that saves you time and money. And Rocco's is also offering big savings right now when you need them the most. Right now, all customers are receiving a 20% discount and a 30% discount for all first responders and medical personnel. Is your dealership doing that? They're a family-run business, and yes, there's actually a Rocco and his two brothers, and these guys built this business the old-fashioned way by doing it right and treating their customers the right way. And if you're a business owner, they can cover all of your fleet vehicle needs as well. They work and keep your warranties in place on top of that because the service is so good. You can check them out at roccoseuropeangarage.com. 3 Metro Atlanta locations. Visit them at Rocco's European Garage.
Even though we're a city of 6 million people, it's our Southern spirit and sense of community that keeps us real. I'm Tony Weiss, and like you, my business partner Steve Finley and I call this place home. Steve grew up here, raised his kids here, Me too. He's an Alta guy. I coach baseball at Hobgood in East Cobb. We take our families to church on Sundays in Woodstock, and we're proud to run our business here. We are Finley Roofing. Sure, we've won multiple national awards, and national status is nice, but it's not as important to us as taking care of you. That's why we founded our business on building relationships. We're the first to offer the free roof analysis. It was just the right thing to do. Send an expert out to your house, take a closer look, and make sure everything's okay. Let us do this for you. There's never a charge, never any sales pressure, but we'll always give you peace of mind. We're the Roof guys. We're your neighbor. We'll be there when you need us. Visit us online at roofroof.com. That's roofroof.com.
It's front office loads for Reliable Heating and Air. Do you know any first responders or essential workers going above and beyond to serve their community? Each month through December, Reliable Heating and Air will choose one nominee to receive a free complete heating and cooling system and one to receive a free water heater. That's 16 total winners. This includes grocery store members, teachers, nurses, police, firefighters, you name it. To submit your nominees, go to reliableair.com/hero and fill out their online form. That's reliableair.com/hero to nominate your essential worker today.
Step up with Boost Mobile's new upgraded network with stronger signal, faster speeds, and more coverage. You can stay connected to what matters most. Switch today and upgrade your life. Step up with Boost Mobile.
Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score. And checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
Hey, it's Steaky, and if you're still cooking at home and looking to have the best meals ever, I need to tell you about what's happening now with the Buckhead Meat Public Sale. Today from 10 to 2 o'clock, get steaks, chops, chicken, and more, and never leave your car. For this week's menu, visit @BuckheadBeef on Twitter, the finest quality meat around.
This is the Fans Sports Center.
From the Breda Pest Sports Desk, visit BredaPest.com.
Breda Pest wants to say thank you to the entire fan team for continuing to bring us sports talk. Breda Pest Management, proud partner of 680 The Fan. The second round of the Colonial going on as we speak. 3 are tied atop the leaderboard at 7 under. Justin Rose will tee off at 155 this afternoon. He's tied with Xander Schauffele and Colin Morikawa, all at 7 under par. The NCAA Oversight Committee passed a 6-week practice plan for the season starting on time for teams like Georgia that will begin the season on Labor Day weekend. The workouts would begin on July the 13th. The NFL notified teams' virtual off-season work will last until June the 26th, but there will be no in-person mini camps, and the NBA season going to resume on July the 30th. You're listening to the most powerful voice in sports, the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
No matter where you are, in the car, working from home, or even in Hawaii, you can always stream The Fan live on your smart speaker or at 680thefan.com.
Boom, shakalaka.
And the Fan app gives you access to the stream along with show playbacks so you can listen wherever you have time to catch up. Don't miss a minute of the latest sports news as it breaks. Stream The Fan or download the app today.
This is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
Put it in your mouth.
One hell of a message. 9:53, Domino, Cellini, The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. It's our Twitter question of the morning. The greatest TV theme song of all time. What is it? Somebody did indeed say the Rockford Files. We'll talk to Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel. He's at the Colonial. The second round going on right now around 10:30 or so. Also, we're going to check in with a small business owner. If you're a small business and need some help right now, The Fan and the Extra 106.3, we have got your back each and every Friday. We talk to on both stations a small business owner. What you need to do is email us your name, business details, contact info as well to smallbusiness@680thefan.com. The Small Business Spotlight presented by Georgia Primary Bank, your community, your bank, georgiaprimarybank.com. The first round was taking place yesterday. CBS just got on the air. John Rahm chipped in at the par 3 8th hole, and this happened.
Here's Rahm at the 8th just a moment ago.
Pretty
good there. Oh, I saw everything.
Well, we were hoping for better audio with no fans surrounding the course. Apologize if anybody was offended by what they may have heard there. Harold Varner, though, how about this?
Harold is not going to use any profanities. Harold Varner, the third.
Hey, Jim.
Who's now at 7 under par as well.
Jim, you were hoping for better audio? I thought that audio was awesome because that's what happens. Now, again, the mustache man, Brooks Koepka, he does sort of apologize. He realized, I guess this thing could be on. Jim, that's the world. I know he has to
You have to say
apologize.
something if you're Jim Nance.
And then you go, but you're right. In the same sentence, you tell me about Varner. You just got to make sure I got to get out of this thing so quickly.
Pull the chute. You apologized. Don't let it linger. Move on.
So is this
That's
why?
a pro right there. That's how you do it.
Though. How about this?
Yeah, how about
My God, if I'm Jim Nance, this is why I'm not Jim Nance. My God, he just said the F word, did he not?
Man.
Good gracious me, that was an F-bomb.
You know what I would have said? I would have said, how many of those do you think we get today? I'll go with 7.5. How about you guys?
Kaboom, folks. That's an F-bomb.
Can we play that one more time? Not because I need the F word to be bleeped out again, but I just want you to hear he couldn't get out of this thing quick enough.
Here's Rahm at the 8th just a moment ago.
Pretty good there. Oh, I saw everything.
Well, we were hoping for better audio with no fans surrounding the course. Apologize if anybody was offended by what they may have heard there. Harold Varner, though.
Harold Varner. What did Harold Varner do? Hold on. I want to know what he did. Tell me now.
Well, Harold Varner is tied atop the leaderboard, just so you know. There's 4 atop the leaderboard at 7 under par, including Justin Rose. He'll tee off at 155, as we said during the update this afternoon. He talks about the return of the PGA Tour.
Obviously, I think we all know what's on the line. You know, we all know what we're playing for. We all know that the competition this week, especially, you know, the field is incredible. You know, that's obviously, we miss the fans. They definitely provide a ton of energy and atmosphere. But I think as a professional, you love going up against great players. And obviously, today's playing with Dustin Johnson and Bryson DeChambeau. You know, I haven't had that competition at home to deal with. So that obviously makes it feel pretty real. Like, you know, you're back playing the PGA Tour when you teed up with guys like that. So it felt great, but obviously, you know, the fans were missed.
I would so love to sound like that. He just sounds so smart.
He sounds regal. That's what he sounds like.
Something. It's just, he just sounds better than us.
And there's like, Rex Hoggard's among them. There's like 11 writers following golfers around the various threesomes, but it's silent. I mean, Dustin Johnson on the par 3 16th hits his tee shot within 2 feet. Silence. They all make birdie putts. Silence. There's just nothing there.
Should Jim Nance have said, think of the children?
My God,
Please, Brooks.
There may be kids watching right now. I apologize. Earmuffs. I don't know. All he did was pull the chute. Justin Rose talks about no fans being there, and it's still being kind of a good time.
Yeah, you know, I was kind of having a little fun with it, like, you know, thank you, tipping the cap, you know, to the silence. But to be fair, Dustin Johnson's caddy, his brother DJ, he kind of gave me a little round of applause there. So, you know, the guys were having a bit of fun with the unique, you know, environment that we were dealing with. But on the back nine, on 15 and 16 here at Colonial Country Club, there's a couple of houses that have sort of built mini stands. So there might be a couple of grandstands just off property here where there might be you know, a small gathering of people on the weekend, but we'll see.
I didn't hear one thing he said. I'm just enthralled by the rapture of it all.
I like what he said, though. People live on the course there. It's a country club, and they'll be in their backyards watching the golf tournament. So to a certain extent, they will have a live audience over the weekend, just at a distance.
That's not true. They threw all those people out of their homes.
You cannot live here.
They've
throughout the weekend. Fort Worth, Texas is not your home this weekend. So as of right now, like we said, it's Xander Schauffele, Harold Varner III, Colin Morikawa, and Tyler Duncan now, out of nowhere, along with Justin Rose at 7 under par.
What happened to all the great names in this tournament? What, did they forget to show up?
It's Justin Rose. I mean,
I know.
What are you going to do?
So
anyway.
Who did you just say so excitedly?
Harold Varner III.
No, Tyson somebody?
Oh, yeah. Well, he just...
Yeah, you got very excited.
He's 2 under for the day. Tyler Duncan. Through 5, he's at 7 under par as well.
If you were going to guess what part of it, just give me make up one thing about Tyler Duncan.
I'm going to say he's from Hawthorne, California, the home of the Beach Boys.
I'm going to guess he's got a smoking hot girlfriend or wife. That's my guess. I'm going with the even money bet.
All right, when we come back, it is a Friday staple. It's Beyond the Goatee. Domino, what can we look forward to?
Steve Jobs and Harry Houdini. And a very incredible possible round of what does Sean and Ernie know.
And all that implies. Domino
Is there
Cellini,
a way that I could tie Houdini and Steve Jobs?
We're going to find out, I got a feeling. We're on the YouTube channel as well. Give us a watch.
I got to loosen up.
Domino's the guy in the goatee. I'm the one with the massive orange head. It's Domino and Cellini on the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM.
Central heating and air conditioning. Here's what you need to know. There are certain people you want to trust with certain things in your life. When it comes to equipment being fixed, things that are kind of important like your heating and air conditioning system, don't trust it to a guy named Jimmy. Look, I'm not telling you a guy named Jimmy might not be totally capable, but if it's a guy named Jimmy in a pickup truck and he's watching YouTube videos to try to figure out how to fix your stuff, that's not who you want. What if I told you a company that's been around since 1947? They have the best in the quality training that goes on, and they've seen every type of system and every type of home. What about your house health and your family health? Go to centralheat.com, find out about duct cleaning, filter changing, and some of the other things that can be done to ensure that your family is as safe with everything on the outside, not necessarily getting in your house and sitting there and lingering. Temperature control, being able to control your thermostat with your phones. Yeah, that's a really good thing because it could save you money. And here's the best part. If you need a replacement, carry your product, carry your warranty, carry your peace of mind. You're working with the best in technicians and the best in quality equipment. That's what we got when we got central heating and air conditioning and Carrier. 770-GET-HEAT. Get it done today.
The biggest names in sports are on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line.
Dana White with us on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line.
Details on Fight Island.
Details? Okay. Fight Island, I'm very close to releasing some images.
That's ridiculous. You're not close enough. Obviously, you're not close enough. Now's the time to get a little bit closer.
Hey, I don't know if you watch the news or not, but we're in a pandemic. The world is falling apart minute by minute, and I'm still building Fight Island and putting on fights.
The Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line. It's time to get loud. Call 678-GET-LOUD.
At Rand Inc., we're hearing the same crazy questions all the time. What do I do to get back in the game? How do I spend as little as possible? And what's the guarantee it's going to work? A guarantee? Oh, you mean like AdWords and Facebook and some emailers and agencies will tell you? It's crap. It doesn't exist. And with 30 years of experience, we know there is no single marketing miracle. Your marketing has got to connect to your business goals with a complete plan based on knowledge and data. It's not theory. It's the business of marketing. Visit randinc.cc. That's RANDINC.cc.
Summertime is around the corner and you'll be back on the road before you know it, which means, you guessed it, traffic will be back too. So you'll want to breeze through the express lane with a Peach Pass from Associated Credit Union. Finance a new auto loan or refinance an existing auto loan from another lender through ACU, and you'll get the Peach Pass preloaded with $120. That's more money in your pocket and less time on the road. Also, when you purchase a new vehicle or refinance an existing auto loan from another lender through ACU, you'll enjoy no payments for the first 90 days. We want to help you save as much money as possible. So to recap, enjoy 0 payments for the first 90 days and get a Peach Pass preloaded with $120. Let ACU help you start saving time and money on the road this summer. Breeze through the toll lanes in Georgia, Florida, and North Carolina by visiting our website at acuonline.org/Peach Pass to find out more. Associated Credit Union, helping you live, bank, and grow for over 90 years.
Right now, Peach Pass knows that every little bit counts. We want you to know that you're not alone. We're all in this together. That's why every day on 680 The Fan, you can nominate a healthcare professional, first responder, transit workers, or retail employee to win a 4-pack of tickets to a future Atlanta Braves home game in 2021. Peach Pass wants you to be brave, Atlanta, and honor those making sacrifices for the A. Visit 680thefan.com today for more details. Peach Pass. Be brave, Atlanta. Keep moving. It's summer and you expected to hear that, but instead, you're hearing this. If you're sick of the fighting, the pointless back and forth, and sleeping on the couch, maybe it's time. Look, no one gets married to get divorced, but as a proud partner and a trusted expert of the Fan, the team at Oxendine Law are the people to turn to for all your questions about divorce. Call them today at 770-497-8688 or visit oxlawfirm.com. Oxendine Law. We play to win.
Augers, trenchers, blades, brooms, shredders, mulchers, hammers, compactors, planers, rollers, rakes.
That's just a sample of the more than 100 attachments John Deere offers for skid steer and compact track loaders. The added versatility provided will help you win more jobs. And with the universal self-cleaning quick-attach system, you can switch from one type of attachment to another in no time flat. Your John Deere dealer can help you choose the right attachments to help you run your world. Visit johndeere.com/compact attachments to learn more.
Every game of the NBA's epic return will be right here on WCNN North Atlanta, a Dickey broadcasting station, Atlanta's 28-year home for the NBA. The Fan.
10:05 on Domino and Cellini. It's The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Also on The Fan's YouTube channel. The entire program, like and subscribe. The 10 o'clock hour brought to you by Superior Pro. The pros to know for siding, windows, and painting. Head to superiorpro.com for a free consultation. It's our Twitter question of the morning at the Ameripress, fresh off the press Twitter feed. At Chris Domino, at Sean Nerney, at Cellini Nick, at 680 The Fan, your favorite TV show theme of all time. And that's why we are hearing Sanford and Son and Hawaii Five-0, among others, coming back on this very program. So, without further ado, as we said, it's a Friday staple. We'll talk some golf. One of the few on the course aside from the golfers. Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel in Fort Worth will join us at 10:30. In the meantime, we jump into this guy's cranium.
Have you ever wanted to venture into the vast landscape of Domino's mind?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, neither have we. But we're still going beyond the goatee.
All right, it's good to be in the Michael Jordan memorabilia business, and boy, did The Last Dance really kick it up. Do you know what the most, if you were going to guess, gentlemen, I will ask you both, in terms of Michael Jordan memorabilia, what might actually be worth the most? Any idea if you were going to guess? Now, let me give you a hint or two. The flu shoes. This is a real deal. There was a picture taken. Do you know the Utah Jazz ball boy ended up with Michael's sneakers from that day? Michael gave them to him. There's a picture of this kid. Preston Thomas was his name. He sold them in 2013. They're worth more than this now, but do you know what they sold for in 2013? 40, and that was just when it was just the flu game.
Yeah, 40 grand.
Sean, if you want to guess?
I would say 70 grand.
104,000 in 2013. Guesstimates now they'd be worth, because of The Last Dance, over $250,000. Here's what can happen in a year because of The Last Dance. There was a pair of Michael Jordan Air Jordan 1s that Michael wore in his 85 season. They sold for $437,000. 8 months later, $560,000. You know the only thing that's changed? The Last Dance was on.
Those were the ones that he wore when he came back to the Garden and his feet were bleeding all over the place.
But these were from 1985. Like, he went back and put them on, and it wasn't really a great shoe to wear. But from the 85 season, in 8 months, and the only thing that happened is The Last Dance was on. They went from $437,000 to $560,000.
Anybody have a signed jersey from his last game in a Bulls uniform when he hits the shot?
Well,
Brian Russell.
The other thing that went big is he had Olympic shoes from the 84 Converse. They sold for $144,000. People think they're worth over $300,000 now. So, again, The Last Dance has been really good for that business. It's funny you should say, though. What were you asking about memorabilia? You hear about the family? Was it Uncle Jimmy who had baseball cards put away? But you know what's special about these baseball cards? Not only are they from 1933, allegedly. I ain't seen the pictures yet. Do you know what they are? Signed by Babe Ruth and others. 6 cards allegedly signed by Babe Ruth. 6 of them. So Uncle Jimmy, as they said, he never showed this to anybody.
Have they been authenticated?
Well, it is
people like Bob Presley, memorabilia people.
I don't know who's a 1933 signed Lou Gehrig card, a signed Jimmy Fox card. They said this is one of those once every 25 years collections, if it's all true, and it's being reported.
The name spelled right? Might be a dead giveaway if they're not.
It says Baby Ruth, and I was like, oh, man, you might want to check that one.
I did that once. I tried to get into the library instead of the study hall, and I tried to forge a pass, and I misspelled my teachers.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, I had to run a lot at football practice that day, and deservedly so.
Hey, Sean, what do Sean McVay and Calvin Johnson have in common? If you were going to guess, what might they have in common? Do you think they played high school football in the state of Georgia at the same time? Say yes.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Do you know what Sean McVay did? He won the high school football player of the year over Calvin Johnson. At Marist, he ran for 1,000, threw for 1,000, and he was the state of Georgia's high school football player of the year.
In lieu of Calvin Johnson.
Yes.
So they played at the same time?
I believe so.
Yeah, they did.
That's depressing because I played with Calvin as well, and Sean McVay, much more successful than myself.
Georgia,
we're much older, and he's skyrocketed past us as well, as have many younger than us in this business. So don't feel bad, Sean. This is a sign. You're looking at it of your future.
Yeah, McVay's 34, right? He's 34 years old, maybe 35. 4A Offensive Player of the Year. It was Sean McVay over Calvin Johnson. Somebody wrote a column about that. Oh, and they pointed out that Sean McVay was in high school when Tom Brady was winning Super Bowls, which is a very funny but true line on top of everything else. You know what Garth Brooks is going to do? He's doing an old-fashioned drive-in concert. June 27th, if you got $100 and a car full of people you want to go watch, 300 drive-ins from across America are going to be showing a Garth Brooks concert.
Thunder rolls.
Right. I don't know if he's going to have all that
Songs
stuff.
like that,
I don't know if he's going to fly around. I don't know how much
Chris
pyrotechnics.
Gaines, he going to do any of that music?
I don't think so.
His alter ego?
I think that's sort of done. He might have tucked out. Who knows? For $100, is $100 for a car? That's right. You get a Garth Brooks kind of show.
I don't know. I'm not
fair.
I'm not
Unfair.
saying,
You're making a face like, is it unfair?
I'm not saying I would do that. I mean, I know you're watching a live concert, but $100
for a car, though. It's not per person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting in my car. I mean, I don't know. I sit in my Kia Optima and watch Garth Brooks for $100. I mean, that.
Well, maybe you'd have somebody else with you. It would truly be $100 for you if you were by yourself. Lower
Does he supply that person? Does that come with the price of the ticket?
I mean, do you get refreshments? I mean,
no.
And then no, it's just. I mean, I'm not judging. It's just not for me.
Okay, so
I don't get it.
You and 3 other people go. Hey, you want to go see Garth Brooks? It'll cost us $25 a head.
Chris, that's on the screen. You're watching him, not live in person.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, of course. It's a drive-in, Matt. It's a drive-in.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a rip-off?
No way.
You got 4 people.
Personally, I'm not doing it.
Hold on. You got 4 people in a car, $25 a head. You're not going to go watch Garth Brooks. You know, in a world where maybe you're starved for entertainment. I don't know. I'm just asking.
I'll watch
$100 a car.
Him perform his videos on.
I'd go see the Beach Boys.
I don't think you'd want to see it now.
There might be one Beach Boy. You might be seeing a Beach Boy.
Mike Love.
All right. Do you know what year this?
Pay me to see him.
Do you know what year this movie came out? On this day, by the way. I took a few notes, but now you got it.
Yeah.
What year did this movie come out? On this date?
1985.
Sean?
Actually, yeah. Okay, I'll go with 85.
This is the original, by the way. This is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
82.
81. I was in high school. This wasn't my bag.
Not me.
This wasn't my
saw
scene.
it, but it wasn't really anything.
Did you see it in the theater?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
It's beautiful.
I had things to do, man.
I will say, in 81, to have that guy's face melt like that, it was really ahead of its time.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Dude, I was 11 in 1980. I was all in, brother.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I mean, I was like 14. There was nothing else to do on weekends. You went to the LaSalle on 185th and you went and saw movies.
I just
What else are we
graduated.
gonna do?
I just graduated high school. Let me see. Do I want to go see Raiders of the Lost Ark? No.
I remember the second one going in massive lines for the second one after the success of this one. I'm just saying.
I know. Listen, it was your wheelhouse. Me, not so much. I was driving down to Seaside Heights, man. I got stuff to do.
I mean, I got the year wrong. They all kind of run together after a while. I'm sure there are some that feel that way about Rocky, so I get the years confused. I don't with Rocky, but I do with that franchise.
This wasn't. It was. Listen, God bless him. Made a lot of money, and Harrison Ford. He's a very, very sexy animal type man.
Now you've seen him, right, Chris? Like you've seen Raiders.
I've seen the
original
first one.
Enjoyed it? I mean, it's well done.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
they did a great job.
You can skip the second one. It was.
Yeah.
Which one is Karen Allen in?
First one.
Okay, from Animal House.
Kate Capshaw is in another one later.
Karen Allen shows up in the fourth one, and give her credit, she's got no work done whatsoever, but that was bad too. When she pops up on screen.
Okay, what do you got to listen?
He was talking about the plot. It was about aliens. It made zero sense.
Awful.
Way to bail them out, or try to anyway.
This movie came out 10 years ago. But it was Toy Story 3. Do you know Toy Story is 25 years old? It is truly. Toy Story 4 made a lot of money, and it's very well done. It's the best. Sorry. I know I'm going to get my card taken away. It's the best 4-pack of the same character movies ever. It really is. Like, you can tell me it's a cartoon and it was drawn or it was computer drawn. But it really is. Hit, like, incredible movie, incredible movie, incredible movie, incredible movie. We all agree that, like, I don't even want to say it. I was going to say the first 4 Rockies. I mean,
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. It ended at 1. The first 4 Rockies compared to the 4 Toy Stories. Do you want to be honest?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go with the Rockies. I mean, it's great, Toy Story, but I think you do.
You're asking me,
What response did you expect to get?
You do kind of deserve to have your card taken away.
I'll respond it to you.
For the first time in a long time, I'm disappointed.
You're revoking my card.
Yeah.
Toy Story appeals to all audiences. There's no certain age group. You know what I mean? You got the kids, obviously, with the toys, but it's got adult-based humor as well. So I think it entertains everybody.
No, it's great.
From a movie-making point of view.
But it's not rock.
I mean, I got a guy in a fake Russia. By the way, it wasn't really Russia, who's got a log on his shoulders. And as much as I dig the whole vibe, I'm just trying to be honest.
Moscow is pro-Rocky. That's better than anything. In
Chris,
the Toy
you're
Story
all
franchise.
in on Disney, though, too. You're a Disney.
Well, this is Pixar. I just, it's so hard. Look, they didn't even want to make a 2. They were like, 1 was so good. Okay, we did 2. We can't do 3. 3. Oh, my God, it's great. Then they waited another, 9 years to do 4.
I'm telling you,
All
as
right.
great as it is, does Woody, at the end of the 4th Toy Story, does he appeal to 2 warring nations? I don't think he does.
Chris, are they done? Is there a 5th, possibly in another 10 years? I don't know.
Well, the good news is they don't age. You know, if you want them back, you don't have to worry about anybody passing away. Maybe the voices. Oh, Don Rickles passed away.
Yes, he did.
And I think they actually had older stuff. They put him in as Mr. Potato Head, which, by the way, is...
And Estelle Getty, who was Mrs. Costanza, played Mrs. Potato Head.
Oh.
I don't know if she's still with us or not.
I'm not sure. All right, well, again,
passed recently, actually, right?
we've all spoken. All right, do you know who this guy is?
When ordinary life shackles us, we need to get away.
Who do you think it is?
Get away from boredom.
It's a character.
From fear.
It's not really him.
But not me. Fear is how I know I'm alive. As far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to escape.
All right, you got 2 hits. No, it's Adrian Brody.
Oh.
But it's Houdini, the Houdini brothers. What do you know about Harry Houdini? Because I'm going to give you something he did on this day.
He got punched in the stomach.
Allegedly.
He was
There's appendix burst.
He's a little fella.
On this date, Sean Ernie, what year did Harry Houdini free himself from a straitjacket while suspended upside down 40 feet above ground in New York City? No, they have video of this.
Allegedly.
Allegedly what? He's hanging upside down 40 feet in New York City. This is not make-a-believe. This is not computer generated.
That part I don't dispute. The straitjacket part is a little bit looser than I think people are led to believe.
Okay, you're wrong, but that's fine. Sean, what year do you think Harry Houdini decided, bring me up 4 stories in New York City?
Was this 1925?
1923. Not bad.
Watch Harry Houdini pull off the impossible, a death-defying trick. It's probably how they promoted it back then. Everybody talked like that back then in every movie that you saw.
No,
what do you mean I can't go in there? I told you can't go in there. I can go anywhere I want, see?
I'm going to tell you how they build it. Come watch a man die. That was better for ticket sales.
Come watch him defy death.
Nope.
Harry Houdini could die.
Not defy death.
Would this be his final day on the face of the earth?
Sean, have you ever seen the actual footage? There's movie footage of Harry Houdini hanging upside down in New York City. That's like a real thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that. Why is there footage of him doing other things as well? Is that the only thing?
No, getting dumped into the river in a crate, in a straitjacket in a crate.
Into the river
yeah.
as well.
No, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole back here.
Go watch real footage. Don't get fake footage. Harry Houdini, real footage.
Wasn't
and you'll
there
see some of the things
a movie years ago? Jamie Lee Curtis's father, Tony Curtis, played Harry Houdini.
That's exactly right.
I don't know why I know that.
That's exactly right.
I do really know stuff.
And
It's not going to help anybody in any way, shape, or form.
Adrian Brody has played Harry Houdini as well. What was Harry Houdini's big thing? What did he say he was going to do? He was going to come back from the other side.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, well, he hasn't yet. I'm just telling you, he hasn't. He's trying like hell right now.
Let me tell you something. With all the craziness taking place in 2020, now would be the time.
Okay, if I get low enough.
To actually rise up from the dead. I wouldn't be surprised.
If I get low enough and they can't see me on camera, can I do something?
We are on the YouTube channel, 680 The Fans YouTube channel. Chris Domino trying to pull something off.
Ooh, I'm Harry Houdini. There you go. He's still trying. I think we had a breakthrough today.
Was that Harry Houdini still underground? What was that?
I don't know.
Because he could be in a mausoleum for all we know.
Hey, Harry, if you're listening, come on back now. We got YouTube going. All right, last one.
Hey, Chris, Harry Houdini here. I love that Hardball podcast.
You look nothing.
It's the reason I came back.
You look nothing like Tony Curtis, Harry.
Well, that's another conversation, Chris, for another day.
Perhaps
Who's on Hardball this week at the Podcast Park?
Perhaps he could tell me he was good friends with Eldon Hawker.
He was on Hardball, the podcast. What about this week? Have you decided yet? Oh, yes, Fred Lynn.
Fred Lynn. Yes, Fred Lynn is on.
Remember watching Fred Lynn from the Great Beyond.
All right.
The COVID podcast as well, Just the Facts with Tug Coward, as he talks to various experts, including John Loud from Loud Security and the president of the Cobb Chamber of Commerce. If you're a Cobb business, you can be a part of that $50 million business grant. Check that out at the podcast park as well.
All right. Do you know who this is and what was the occasion of this?
An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it?
Are you getting it?
Steve Jobs?
Yeah. What year, Sean, did the first iPhone come out? That's Steve Jobs. This is Steve Jobs actually introducing the iPhone for the first time
I
ever.
actually invented that, Chris. That's why they killed me. Harry Houdini's sounding a lot like Chuck Bednarik as this bit goes on.
Well, I think everybody, when they're there for a long time, actually starts to sound...
The voice gets gravelly. We have a lot of liquid down here. Hydration. It's the term I'm looking for.
I wonder if there's any audio of Harry Houdini. I wonder what he sounds like. Who knows? You could be right. I'm Harry Houdini. Oh.
Asking ye shall receive.
What year was the iPhone introduced by Steve Jobs on that stage that day?
Was it 06?
Not bad, 07. Remember, it's an iPad and a phone. And then they go crazy because he's Steve Jobs and he introduced the world. It didn't really have all the bells and whistles that we have today, though.
Without this thing, my phone that I'm holding right now, I am lost. I do everything with this phone. Work-wise, communication-wise, workout-wise. It all happens right here.
Oh, you carry, you doing all your weights on there? Is that what you have?
Oh, yeah, I track my weights.
Whatever. Who cares? Who cares?
I mean, you asked.
I didn't, actually.
Pulled a rock on me. Do you track your weights? It doesn't matter what you track on there.
Sean, what did the first iPhone cost?
Oh, man. Let's say $800.
I'm going to go with $550.
$499. I would have thought it was more as well. But it was $499. Not cheap by any means, but $499 you could have had your very own iPhone. All right. Oh, one more. Do you know in 1990, we were talking about the draft the other day, take a guess on how many players the Astros drafted in 1990. I'm not kidding. How many players did the Astros draft?
In 1990. 42.
100. I'm not lying. They drafted 100 guys. 100.
Things have changed just a little bit.
Yeah, I think they drafted 4 this year.
All right, when we come back, college football lays out its plan for a summer return. Plus, we check in with one of the few on the course, aside from the players at the Colonial, Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel, all ahead on Domino and Cellini. Feel free to watch us at the Fan YouTube channel and listen at the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM. Hey, Loud Security's been in business for 25 years. You know what that means? They know what they're doing. That's why the Domino family picked up the phone. They called 678-GET-LOUD. I've done it. 678-GET-LOUD is the number to call to protect your family as well. And today, if you call 678-GET-LOUD to celebrate those 25 years, they're going to give you a year of free monitoring and a free activation. So just by calling, you save cash. They're one of the top 10 places to work in the city of Atlanta, according to the AJC, which means they're happy, which means they pass it along to their customers. 678-GET-LOUD. When you call that number, any time of the day, any time of the night, somebody's going to answer the phone, live on-call text to answer your questions. Any questions you may have 24/7. Most importantly, they're going to save you cash as they keep you safe as they celebrate those 25 years. You call them right now, 678-GET-LOUD, 678-GET-LOUD, free activation, free year of monitoring. Know it, learn it, love it, live it, sing it.
Loud Security Systems. Call 678-GET-LOUD.
This hour is presented by Superior Pro, the pros to know for painting, siding, and windows. Head to SuperiorPro.com to learn more today. Atlanta's biggest golf tournament is back this July, and spots are already filling up for the 19th annual Georgia's Own Credit Union Buck and Kincaid Classic, presented by the PGA Tour Superstore and Southern Company. This epic two-day event arrives July 30th and 31st at Legacy on Lanier Golf Club. And this year, Buck and Kincaid won't have ringers. They're golfing alongside Atlanta first responders, all to benefit Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
He's got a beautiful backswing. Oh, he got all of that
And we're going above and beyond to follow all safety guidelines for a safe and successful tournament. Special thanks to Corona, Ace Hardware, Duffy Realty of Atlanta, Howard Brothers, and Engineered Solutions of Georgia. Get all the details and sign up now at 680thefan.com.
This is Mark Weeks with 52 Weeks Financial. We're excited to join the team here at 680 The Fan and provide listeners with timely, relevant financial information. Speaking of teams, I really can't do anything without mine. First, I'll introduce the rookie. This is Jacob.
I was born and raised in Georgia. I started as an intern and was recently called up to the big leagues. My role is the utility player. I'm here to support the team and helping every client get exactly what they need.
Next up is our international phenom. From the first time we said Slancha, I knew she would fit right in.
Slancha, I have been part of the team for several years. Once a plan has been customized for you, I am here to make sure that it is executed as smoothly as possible and you are guided through every step of the process.
We're here to make sure your financial dreams and goals come true. We are 52 Weeks Financial. Visit us at 52weeksfinancial.com.
Listen for the 52 Weeks Financial Report, Monday mornings and Friday afternoons, exclusively on The Fan.
It's summertime. Baseball's almost here, and it's time to get your lawn in shape. AgriPro is here to help. Our company is truly local, and we strive to provide exceptional lawn care with an emphasis on better products, better customer service, and better trained specialists. Get real results for your lawn at agripro.net.
This is the Fans Sports Center.
From the Breda Pest Sports Desk, visit BredaPest.com.
Golf being played as we speak. Good morning. It is Sports Center time here on the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. It's the second round of the Colonial, the Charles Schwab Challenge. 3 are tied at 8 under par atop the leaderboard, including Jordan Spieth, Xander Schauffele, and Colin Morikawa. We'll give you updates all day long. The NCAA Oversight Committee passed a 6-week practice plan for the season starting on time. For teams that begin the season, like Georgia, on Labor Day weekend, their workouts would begin on July the 13th. The NFL notified teams their virtual offseason work will last until June the 26th, but there will be no in-person mini camps. The NBA season will resume on July the 30th. The league says 14 of the teams will be out within 53 days of arriving. Only 4 teams will remain after 67 days. You're listening to the most powerful voice in sports, the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
There's something special about Atlanta Originals. They breathe the life of the city into everything they do. And the Fan and Extra 106.3 are proud to be Atlanta people serving Atlanta sports fans and Atlanta businesses.
Thank you to everybody at 680 The Fan. Thank you to the station and the Dickey family for doing things like this.
I travel 3 or 4 days a week. I listen to y'all every morning.
Sure, we get caught up in everything going on in the world, but our focus is 100% on Atlanta. Its people, our teams, its businesses, and you, our listeners.
Every morning at 6 a.m., hearing you yell through my radio is what gets me pumped up. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, guys. Love you all.
Thank you guys so much in Dickey Broadcasting for everything that you do.
Atlanta has counted on Dickey Broadcasting for almost 30 years to entertain, inform, and help Atlanta businesses grow. And we will be here for another 30 years by your side to entertain sports fans and help Atlanta businesses thrive again.
Y'all stay safe.
We were born in Atlanta. We are Atlanta. We are the Fan.
10:27, Domino, Cellini, the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. The 10 o'clock hour brought to you by the pros over at Superior Pro. We'll check in with Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel here in just a couple of minutes, as he is one of the few, aside from the players, on the course at the Colonial. 3 now tied atop the leaderboard at 8 under par. Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, and Jordan Spieth. We'll keep you up to date all day long. Remember, the Fan and the Braves and Racetrack, much like Domino and I did over the past couple of days, giving you the opportunity to win Braves signed bats, VIP suite tickets, Silver Seat tickets, Yeti coolers, Braves kits, Coors Light gear, and more. A couple of places this weekend for your chance to win include Friday, as in today, 4 to 6 at the Racetrack, 420 East Crossville Road in Roswell. Tomorrow, 1 to 3 at the Racetrack, 6875 Jimmy Carter Boulevard in Norcross. See the more details at 680thefan.com. As we mentioned, Chris, during the update, the NCAA Oversight Committee, they did pass the 6-week practice plan, and it's expected to be approved as they vote on it on Wednesday. There are so many different channels now, it seems like these things have to go through, but as of right now, if you're Kirby Smart, you can plan on starting some off-season stuff on July the 13th as you get ready Labor Day weekend to take on Virginia. That's the way it's looking right now. Right now being the most important phrase.
Does anybody have a pencil? Because we should write this all in pencil. You do not want to break out a chisel and start hammering anything in stone. Because, as they say, cards subject to change, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, and what groups, how many numbers, how long can you have them for? We just joked about it, but I'm not going to be surprised if you don't see teams working out outside. They're going to try to create space. And whether it's a stretch program and, even some lifting, I think you're going to see that they say, well, hold on. Can we actually get more guys if we spread this out? I think the answer is going to be yes. And look, at the end of the day, what did we say about when you're working out in air conditioning? It is different than being outside in the heat. Maybe you actually gain a little bit of a benefit if you're doing some of that type of working out outside.
So maybe, just maybe, that helps. Big picture, each and every team that decides to work out outside. Now, we know that the SEC Media Days have been postponed. It's going to be a virtual situation. Think about this. Since the SEC started conducting a preseason poll in 1992, the SEC, and I'm talking about the voters, they got the winner right 7 times out of 28. 25%, that's the success rate. For instance, last year LSU got 3 of the 261 first-place votes. So we know nothing. I mean, that's the theme in 2020, but that's the theme in college football in general, it seems. Nobody knows nothing.
Yeah, there's a line. Nobody knows anything, and it truly fits. Are we, I'll throw we live in the middle of it. Are we up to 261 people voting on this now?
First-place votes, yep. So 261 overall.
Seems excessive, doesn't it?
Yep. Alabama got 4 times as many preseason votes as anyone last year. And we'll see. I'm imagining that's going to be the case again this year.
This year, because it's virtual, 1,812 people will be voting on who's going to win the SEC. Most of them you've never heard of or care about.
Congratulations to some Georgia and Georgia Tech players that were drafted in the MLB amateur draft. The Padres take right-hander out of Georgia, Cole Wilcox. In the 3rd round, Georgia Tech gets 2 players drafted. Michael Goldberg. They were chanting, and Barron Radcliffe were selected in the 3rd and 5th rounds, respectively, by the A's and the Philadelphia Phillies. And it keeps a very impressive streak alive for Georgia Tech. They've now had at least 1 player, usually more, in each of the past 40 drafts and 20 in a row with more than 1 pick. So congratulations to Danny Hall and the program over there at Georgia Tech.
Do you know what the difference is? Starting Sunday morning, anybody who was not drafted ended at the 5th round this year. We all, or most of us, know that. $20,000 is the most that a player can get. If you want to start your professional career, the most I can offer you is $20,000. What I don't know is, can they offer you even 1st-round picks and 2nd-round picks? High school guys, a lot of times there is a clause that says we will pay for your schooling whenever you choose to go. Do we have any idea if you're a non-drafted, $20,000 is the most you can get? And by the way, 6th-round picks last year, bottom line of $237,000, top end $360-something thousand. So if you want to talk about how the economics of this draft just changed, Nick, if you were a 6th-round pick, you could have expected $237,000. Well, now you get 20. I don't know, though, if they can include the education as part of that package. Are they allowed to go above and beyond the $20,000?
I mean, it's a valid question to ask, and I'm sure that a lot of people are examining that right now as players. Should I go back to school, or do I sign and roll the dice and hope that within a couple of years I play well through the minor league system? Should there be a minor league system and I make some money big picture?
I'm going to tell any 17 or 18-year-old and the parents out there, $20,000 is better than no $1,000. If you think your kid's going to be a professional baseball player and you want to get it started, fantastic. As long as you believe the draft is going to go back to a little bit more normal, what it's been for the last X amount of years, go to college. I'm not knocking your hustle. You're 16, 17, 18, you want to start it, go ahead. But don't let the $20,000 be the reason you do it.
Fair point to make. Adam Rittenberg writes for ESPN, and he said, talking about Georgia, no national titles since 1980 is embarrassing, given Georgia's location in one of the nation's top recruiting states. And that is a lightning rod discussion. Should they have more, knowing how hard it is? And the people that write for Dog Nation, they say, look, you have to think about how it has expanded. It has changed as of late, and you go back and look at recent history of Georgia. This is, again, going to be their stance.
Go ahead.
2002, 2007, 2012, they would have been, one would assume, in that 14 playoff.
All right.
So there's reasons beyond just embarrassment.
That's not the question. should Georgia have won a national title no matter what the rules were, what the conditions were, how many people were in and out since 1980? It's still listed. Do you guys know, did you see the newest? Because, again, everybody's got time in their hands. The college football jobs. Somebody did another tiering. Do you know what tier Georgia Tech's job is in? Georgia Tech ended up in the 4th tier. Do you want to know who's in the 4th tier with them?
Yeah, let's hear.
That's Arkansas, Cal, Colorado, Kansas State, Kentucky, Maryland. That's tier 4.
Ouch.
Minnesota. Yeah.
So every once in a while, you'll have an 8-win season. Maybe Dave Brain, according to that, was right when he left and took that parting shot.
According to this author, the closest to moving up out of 4 to at least 3 is North Carolina, not Georgia Tech. Georgia's in the 1st tier. I'm going to guess, I'll find the list. I'm going to guess all the teams in the 1st tier have won a title since 1980. So you can spin this any way you want. Well, if times were different, yeah, okay. And if Mickey Mantle was born in 1980, he'd be a gazillionaire.
Chris, shouldn't the Tech job be higher, though? Just like their big thing with Georgia is obviously the state, the recruiting, and Tech has access to that as well. Obviously, they have some limitations academically and being the institute and tougher to get some of these kids in. But there is no question in my mind that Tech can be a tier 2 or 3. They're surrounded by so much talent, as Jeff Collins is showing us, that is accessible to Tech still. It absolutely.
So do you argue with anybody who says, so what have you been doing all this time, therefore you don't get the benefit of the doubt?
We quit. No, and I'm not trying to rip Paul Johnson. I actually like Paul as a coach, but that system never should have been allowed at a school like Tech. That is a system for a lower level program or a program that doesn't have access to the type of recruiting that Georgia Tech does. Even Shane Gailey, and Jeff Collins was there. I mean, he knows between George O'Leary and Shane Gailey, the recruiting is there and can be brought into Tech. No question about it.
Again, if I'm trying to aspire to be in tier 3 by some author from ESPN who I really don't care what he thinks, I get your point. Sean, you want to play a game with me? Tell me right now. I think you might find this interesting. Here are the tier 1 jobs. Tier 1 jobs in college football coaching. Tell me if these schools have won a national title since 1980, okay? Alabama.
Yes, check.
Clemson.
Check.
Florida.
Check.
LSU.
Check.
Ohio State.
Yep.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Texas.
Yep.
USC.
Right on.
There's Georgia. What hasn't Georgia done? They're the only one on the list. I was right. I guessed it. They're the only one who hasn't won a national title. Now, look, I'm not telling you it's not a tier 1 job, but when you're the guy who everybody else has said, I got mine, where's yours? And you don't have one in this many years, 40 years. Of course they were supposed to have won. I don't care if there was no teams in a playoff, the old days. I don't care if there's 9 teams in a playoff.
LSU, Auburn, other teams in the SEC.
Auburn's not even in tier 1, by the way.
I know, but they've
Auburn's
captured,
tier 2.
They've captured national titles as well.
Let me see. Hold on, tier 2. Auburn, national title since 1980?
Yes.
Say yes. Florida State?
Yes.
Michigan, no. Notre Dame?
Yes.
Oregon?
It's been a while for Notre Dame, but yes. Oregon, no.
All right. So that's who Auburn is lumped with. They've won.
Now, here's my concern.
Georgia still gets to be tier 1.
Let me ask you this, Sean, as a Tech guy. Do you worry that he's a young coach, Jeff Collins? If he wins at Georgia Tech, is it a stepping stone job? Does he stay for the long term, and whatever long term means? Is this his destination job? He says yes now, but if somebody else comes a calling, does he leave?
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to say, I like to see him here long term. I think he really enjoys it here. He fits in really well here, but I'm never going to say never. I mean, you never know if one of these big schools comes a knocking, but I'd like to think, I think the fact that we are in a rebuilding mode kind of bodes, at least I know that he's going to be here for a few years until he gets, everything his roster
2 years
filled.
from now, are they a tier 3? If we ask whoever this guy is, whatever the criteria is, I apologize, it might be a group of
Adam
people.
Rittenberg.
Okay, thank you.
And you say,
do you think
yes, good writer, too.
Do you think in 2 years Georgia Tech's a tier 3?
I do.
I do, too.
All right, so then
I'm going to say yes as well.
Arrow up, as we like to say. Do you think 2 years from now Georgia's still a tier 1?
Yes.
Yeah, Georgia's not going anywhere.
So that's their birthright now. Great job. Win a title.
That's what I'm saying. They're up there in tier 1 without winning that title in the last however many years. So, yeah, they're not going anywhere.
You know who was on that, too, Chris, before most? We don't like him, and he's a boob. But Colin Cowherd years ago was touting Georgia as a Tier 1 type job because of the city of Athens and not just some podunk. No offense to Starkville and in other places. Athens is a legit great city.
Matt, I think
the university.
I think you would have had
talent.
I think you would have had more people arguing that they were Tier 1 based upon whatever the criteria is for that than not. It's an underachieve.
Yes.
I mean, I would have thought 10 years ago, if you would have asked me, is Georgia a Tier 1 job? Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah. I'm 10 years removed from that. And facilities and recruiting ability and the high school football alone being played in this area.
So do you give them more credit that they're the one Tier 1 without a title? No. Or, you know, I mean, does that
I think it's just come too easy to just say, oh, Georgia's in there. I don't. Is it a great job? Yes. It's an incredible job for a lot of reasons. Win a title.
Well, and when you talk about Nick Saban, Paul Feinbaum said he's going to be 69 years old, the oldest coach ever to win a national title, Bobby Bowden, when he was 68. Nick Saban won 4 national titles when Kirby Smart was his defensive coordinator over those 8 years. And he's only won 1 at Alabama in the 5 years without Smart as his defensive coordinator. So is that a factor for Nick Saban? Does he miss Kirby Smart? Because a lot of people are saying, you know, head-to-head, Nick Saban has defeated Kirby Smart. But is there a flip side to this coin, big picture?
This is like the Brady thing. When I only have to go back this many years, how many fingers am I holding up?
2.
2. And now I'm throwing dirt on people who they haven't won in 2 years. In Brady's case, it's less than 2 years. It's less than 700 and change in terms of days. Isn't it ridiculous that the shovels have gotten broken out as quickly as they have?
Yes.
You've set a bar
but
so
that's
high.
That's the world we now live in. You're right. When the bar is set that high, it's like Kirby Smart. You know, your second year, you hit the ground running, and now people are saying, what's happening? Not a lot of them, but enough people are now starting to say, what's going on here?
Is Florida State really still a Tier 2? And you're going to tell me all the talent in Florida. I keep hearing they got no money. They got no money. And I'm sorry, I don't think the 17-year-olds, I believe this about most schools, don't start telling the 17-year-olds about 10 years ago. If you got to go back and you got to say, hey, Jimmy, remember when you were 6 and we were really good? I don't think they care. I don't think the 17-year-olds care the way that we think they care when it comes to what school. When am I going to get on the field quickest? How many guys do you put in the NFL?
I'll say the one thing is, it's amazing in this day and age of college football, college athletics in general, how quickly you can drop off. I mean, look at Florida State. I mean, they fell off the map seemingly overnight.
Nobody's immune to it. With USC, I kept hearing about how they're going to fire another guy. That guy's got to go after 3 games. He don't win. He's not 3-0. He's got to go. USC has suffered from it.
So we assume that Georgia, 3-4 years from now, is still going to be a Tier 1 job. But when you talk about Florida State, you talk about Southern Cal, you can't assume anything. You think it's going to happen, but you can't say definitively it is going to happen.
Why does Georgia have an advantage over Michigan? And don't give me the Harbaugh thing. I'm not trying to set it up.
The Southeast, people want to play for Georgia. People don't want to go up to the North and play for Michigan.
I think Notre Dame suffers from the same thing.
Ohio State's the only exception to the rule, it
yes,
seems.
They are. Penn State...
to a certain extent.
But yeah, if I'm a kid and I have an option and I can go play up there, is that regionalism? Am I being bigoted? If you tell me I can go play in the sun, get knocked down on a softer field, I can actually work out and not be miserable. Hold on, not be miserable waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm sorry, you want to know what can take the life out of you? I'm going to tell you what can take the life out of you. Waking up 5:30 in the morning, 8 degrees out. Now, I'm not saying
sometimes colder than that.
Not that you slept in the backyard. I'm going to give you had a blanket and heat in the house. You know what sucks? Like really, top of the line, if there is things I don't ever want to do, wake up where it's 8 degrees and I have to go begin my day. And you know what my day is going to begin with? Somebody screaming at me because I'm not working hard enough in the gym. What's the benefit?
And, Chris, the crazy thing, too, about this, the Georgia argument to me, they're absolutely capable of winning 2 of the next 4 or something. I mean, they really are the talent level. It could be one of those things. Once they get one, who says they...
Yeah, I mean, the way it's going right now with the recruiting, and, again, you have to work with the players and shape them again once they get there, but they do seem primed to be around for a while.
It's like the Braves. We only stumbled into one of those 14. Just dumb luck in some ways. It just happened. We were talented enough to win several. Georgia could absolutely pull an Alabama. They just could. The way that Kirby has recruited and will as long as he's here, because that's what he does.
Let me take 5 stars out of it, because I believe what 17-year-olds want to know is what's the depth chart. They'll find you if you can play. If you got aspirations, I'm sure most of them do, to play in the NFL. If you can play, you can go to Central Michigan. If you're good enough. Now, again, you might have a tougher time being graded out the way a guy at a Big Ten school or an SEC school. I want to ask you, take the 5 stars out. You're a kid and you go, you know what? I'm going to be one of 85. I'm going to have a chance to play maybe my junior and senior year. I keep my nose clean. I'm going to work hard. I think maybe I can play a little bit of college football. Where would you go to school? I'm really asking. Like, take away the 5 star who says, my whole dream has been to go to Michigan. Michigan really recruited me since the time I was 10.
I would ask that person what's wrong with you, but...
No, but where would you go? I know where I'm going. I'm going to weather. I'm going to atmosphere. And
that's how they sell it. You better believe there's a lot of things to sell at Georgia. That's one of them. You want to freeze? You're going to come down here, nice weather, beautiful college town in Athens, and win.
That's not even negative recruiting.
That's how you sell it.
You know what that is? That's breaking out a map.
You're just telling the truth. But we know it's not a time for whining right now. It's a time for wishing well to those that are doing so much for us, unlike Ross Hoggard from the Golf Channel. Stella Rosa Wines is giving 20 essential workers $500 each to show their appreciation. Just leave us a message at 404-995-4000 telling us a wish you have for an essential worker in your life. It's the 680 The Fan Wish Line brought to you by Stella Rosa Wines. Wish upon a Stella.
What happened to this guy?
I don't know.
Is that what you're telling me now?
But we need to move forward. We're like a tank, Domino. We keep moving forward. That's what we need to do.
An older tank, for sure.
Yeah, a rusty tank, but a tank nevertheless.
I'm watching this Houdini film, by the way. Uh-huh. I don't know if I'm buying this.
What are you not buying? That he was hung upside down in New York City?
Well, I think he's being hung upside down to just kind of distract people from his just shaking back and forth, and all of a sudden the straitjacket just pops
I
off.
agree with you. Thank you. A straitjacket cannot come off that easily. I don't care who you are.
I'm going to ask you guys a question. What if I told you I'm going to just, no straitjacket, I'm going to hang you upside down 40 feet over the cement of New York City? What do you want to tell me? That's no small thing?
It's a feat in and of itself. The straitjacket, he overplayed his hand.
I'm also willing to
bet. As you like to say, Domino, he couldn't help himself.
The folks hanging out the window right next to where he's hanging from, I think those guys may be in on it as well.
Oh, yeah, they're plants.
Those are his buddies.
Those are plants.
He's hanging upside down by himself like he's a human bat.
The man papered the audience. Thank you, Sean.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
The defense is, they say, rests.
So do you think it was trick photography? He was never really dumped in a river into a crate? Like he was in a crate dumped into the river. Is that fake, too? He's got a couple of guys on the shore who are friends of his?
I'd have to watch that again. I'm not sure he's in that crate. There's a false door somewhere.
Yeah, let me pull that one up next.
Analyze that, Sean, over the break.
You do know how he got out of the straitjacket, right?
Yeah, there was no straitjacket. It was just like a sweater.
Dislocated his shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure he did. Let me see the medical charts.
Do you guys think that this is in the times of the Egyptians and we don't really know what was happening?
It was a lot easier to lie.
Do you know what the
wool over
people's
eyes back then?
Do you know what the water tank is? I don't care if you believe in a handcuff or the straitjacket. Are you getting put into a tank full of water and being in there for 4.5 minutes?
I'm not doing it at all. I'm not sure he was in there for 4.5 minutes. I think it was a mannequin.
You do know it's documented.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this isn't make-a-believe.
All right.
This isn't the 1600s.
I think,
it's not the 1200s.
I'll just say this, and maybe I'm going to say too much. You're a very smart guy, but I think it's sometimes you're very gullible. That's all.
So it was a mannequin.
I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it wasn't. And again, maybe I've said too much. United fans, circle these dates and opponents.
I don't believe those Wright brothers flew. No, sir, we have film.
That's different. More people are flying nowadays. This is cheating death.
This is what I...
Don't look at me. Sean agrees.
I saw the Green Mile. Okay, the straitjacket and the Green Mile look just a little bit more snug than the one Harry Houdini.
How many hours?
That guy, the guy who played the guy that was in the straitjacket, that guy clearly has it all together.
Percy?
There's a stable fella.
How many,
in that movie and in real life.
How many hours were you out in the sun yesterday that you're coming up with this, that you think Houdini's fake? Like, Houdini's fake.
I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying sometimes you just need to think and analyze before you just start saying things, Chris. You can't just start shooting from the hip when it comes to Houdini.
Nick said the same thing about Bruce Lee, and he was sort of found out to be correct, I guess, between the...
And not even an apology. Not even an attaboy.
So I'm supposed to attaboy the guy who said he could kick Bruce Lee's ass. That was you, by the way. That's what you said. You didn't believe in Bruce Lee. Look at the size of him. You know what I would do to him? Sure, tell me again.
I think Kareem, if he wanted to.
Here we go.
Picked him up and threw him around like a child. That's what I think.
Listen.
But it wasn't in the script.
Watch this. Pretend this is a USA Today. Help me. Help me. Come get me.
We're on YouTube, the 680 The Fan YouTube channel. Domino and Cellini again. United fans, circle these dates and opponents on your calendar. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
All right, you want real? I'm going to give you real. Rocco's European Garage. There's really 3 locations. There's really a Rocco. They're really going to fix your car better at a better price than the dealership. Those are all real things. You want a little bit more real? These guys weren't born with silver spoons in their mouths telling them, here you go. Here's some business. Take it. I'm daddy. I'm going to give you my business. These guys built this business up. And you know what they do? They do it better than everybody else. How do I know? Because you get to keep your warranty. You think some slappy right now you're bringing your car to, you say, hey, here it is. What just happened? I don't know. I think you lost your warranty, Johnny. Well, that's not what's going to happen here. 24 months, 24,000 miles, and you keep your warranty and you get the work done the right way. Your car, pick up a delivery inside of 20 miles of Marietta, East Cobb, and Buckhead. You're in that distance, your car is going to come back cleaner than when you actually had it driven out of your driveway to go get it fixed and have it be a better car. Here's the other thing they're doing right now. 20% off everybody's bill straight. That's parts and labor. What if I told you if you're in the medical frontline, first-line professions, you're going to get first responders as well, 30% off the total of your bill. Rocco's European Garage. Make it now your appointment at roccoseuropeangarage.com.
This is not a time for whining. It's a time for wishing well to those who are doing so much for us. Stella Rosa Wines is giving 20 essential workers $500 each to show their appreciation. Just leave us a message at 404-995-4000 telling us a wish you have for an essential worker in your life. The 680 The Fan Wish Line, brought to you by Stella Rosa Wines. Wish upon a Stella.
Racetrack has always been the place known for the grab-and-go essentials. The people keeping the line on and the shelves stocked. Those who get things done. Who never stop. From day shifts to night shifts, on call or en route. We're here for whatever keeps them going. Because they keep us all going. Racetrack. Whatever gets you going.
Your locally owned Ace Hardware is open and ready to help serve you. And if you're anything like me, you've been spending a little bit more time on the grill. And with Father's Day just around the corner, how about a Weber or a Big Green Egg as a big surprise for Daddy on Father's Day? Plus, on top of that, all the grill gadgets you could possibly want, the assortments, the charcoal, the propane, the accessories that you need. Or maybe you're even finally tackling that painting project you never had time for? Ace has it all covered. It's acehardware.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
And now, a moment of chill from Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment, made to chill in a canoe, holding a beer instead of a paddle. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Reliable is giving back again. Help give away a complete heating and cooling system and a water heater to deserving first responders, essential workers, and frontline employees. Reliable is giving away one each month for the remainder of the year. Nominate at reliableair.com/hero.
Build Dad's imagination with a gift from Lowe's this Father's Day. Visit Lowe's in store or online and give Dad a gift that sparks his inner DIYer.
This is the Fans Sports Center.
From the Breda Pest Sports Desk, visit BredaPest.com.
Golf continues. Good morning. It is Sports Center time here on the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. The second round of the Charles Schwab Challenge being played at the Colonial in Fort Worth, Texas. 3 are tied atop the leaderboard at 8 under par. Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, and Jordan Spieth. We'll give you updates all day long. The NBA season going to resume on July the 30th. The league says 14 of the teams will be out within 53 days of arriving. Only 4 teams will remain after 67 days. The NFL says they plan to increase its social justice footprint by pledging to donate $250 million over a 10-year period. They also notified teams that virtual off-season work will last until June the 26th, but there will be no in-person minicamps. You're listening to the most powerful voice in sports, the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
The PodcastPark.com is your home for all of the Fan and Extra 106.3's biggest shows, like the Audio Fun Bag with Los and Hoyt, Tales of Combat and Survival on Mark Zeno's Hazard Ground, Matt Chernoff's Check-In with Atlanta's sports icons in Welcome to Matlanta, and Domino's archive of baseball legends on his new show, Hardball. Get them all at thepodcastpark.com or wherever you subscribe to your favorite podcasts.
10:53, Domino and Cellini on the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Thanks for taking the time to listen. You can listen all the time. You got the mobile app. You got 680thefan.com. You got the TuneIn app. You can follow along at the AmeriPress Fresh Off the Press Twitter feed. It's our Twitter question of the day, the greatest TV theme song of all time. And this was obviously one of them. And why not? The theme to the Andy Griffith Show. And one of the greatest, if not, Chris, the greatest supporting character in the history of sitcoms, Don Knotts, is Barney Fife. Trouble. Better get my bullet.
They did try to go back to the well in Three's Company, and that I don't really think he should have done that one. What was the character name?
Mr. Furley.
Mr. Furley.
He was essentially the same guy, only he was the landlord.
He shouldn't have done it. I know it paid. I just don't think he should have done it.
As we said during the update, 3 are tied atop the leaderboard at 8 under par in the second round of the Charles Schwab Challenge, the Colonial. Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel is there. He joins us on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line here on the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Rex, thanks for coming on. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Doing well. Is eerie a fair way to describe what you're witnessing with no fans out there right now?
I went through the source yesterday. Had to pull them all out. Eerie, surreal, you name it. If you're playing a drinking game, just go ahead and drink up right now. Because when the day started in an odd way, it didn't seem that strange other than the fact that I was watching live sports, which we have and so long. But, I mean, it was 6:50 in the Thursday morning, and Tiger Woods wasn't teeing off. So normally there isn't much of a gallery at tour events. However, it was later in the day when it kind of sunk in, when you had Phil Mickelson out there sort of making a birdie and sort of doing his hat and waving to the non-existent crowd. You realize how important the crowd is to somebody, especially like Phil, who just engages with them as part of his DNA. So it was definitely different yesterday. I think we're probably going to see it the most this Sunday, where you have a late Sunday afternoon coming down the stretch, and you're not going to have the fans there. You're not going to have that energy.
What about the idea of, I don't know, can you think guys can actually drive the golf ball a little bit further if there's that amped up crowd, no crowd thing?
Adrenaline.
I think Gary Woodland really talked about that well. I hadn't even thought about that, but I think there is something to it. I mean, guys talk about it all the time, and I had never attributed that to the crowd. In my mind, it was always, during the practice round, you're just out having fun with your friends, trying to learn the golf course, whatever the case may be. But then you get a card in your hand on Thursday morning, the gun's gone off. You have to go out and perform. I just thought it was that, the thrill of competition. But Gary really talked about it. It's the crowds, and if you think about Gary in recent years, he's had a lot of high-profile pairings with Tiger Woods and winning the U.S. Open, and there is something to be said for the fairway is lined with fans and in your name. Yeah, I can see how that gets you fired up, and you're probably going to get an extra few miles an hour out of your swing.
Can I don't know who the guy in golf. Look, I know Vanderwald is the big one that everybody talks about. Norman had one as well. Has anybody ever talked about the idea that some guys just aren't built to play in front of people? Like, I think Flaherty said that, if I finished in 12th, that was better for me. If I finished first, they're going to ask me to do things, too much responsibility, and I might lose my mind. Do you think guys have ever been so affected by not being able to play in front of a crowd? You can make enough money now finishing 10th and 12th and 24th. Has anybody ever thought that guy just isn't good in front of people? This is not for him.
I think there's plenty of players on the PGA Tour. I mean, it's a snapshot of society. So there's probably some socially awkward folks out there who aren't entirely comfortable when you put them in a situation. That being said, professional athletes, I feel like they sort of have that watch me gene. It seems like you have to have that watch me gene, whether that's a golfer or if you play in the NBA or the NFL. You want to go out and perform. So I would think that most players are comfortable, at least with fans. I think when you talk to the media, it's a little bit different. The one that immediately comes to mind is Annika Sorenstam. Like, I remember hearing stories about, when she was younger at least, where the biggest fear she had coming down the stretch when she was winning a tournament wasn't actually winning the tournament. It was she knew she had to stand up and give a speech afterwards, and that terrified her.
It's pretty amazing what terrifies people as successful on the golf course in front of people. Just talking to those same people is something that gives her the jitters. Rex Hoggard is with us from the Golf Channel. He is on the course at the Charles Schwab Challenge, the second round being played right now at the Colonial. And we've heard the stories. You guys are following around various threesomes on the course. Are they interacting with you maybe a little bit more as they're playing because there's no fans?
Not really. Like, I've kind of gone out of my way. The rules are very strict this week, and I'm not saying that jokingly. I mean, the protocols that the PGA Tour put in place for these first few events, at least, I mean, you have to follow them, and that means they made it very, very clear. Don't approach the players. Don't try to talk to the players. They want us outside that bubble, and since we're outside that testing bubble, and we can't get anywhere near them, we can't get anywhere near the caddies, and that's probably one of the most weirdest parts for me, because you travel 30 weeks out of the year, you know them, they're friends of yours, and so you kind of, I think we're all on the same, have that odd sort of head nod as they're walking down the fairway, and maybe a weird sort of tilt of the head, like, how come you're not talking to me? But I think they figure it out.
Your thoughts on going forward in terms of relaxing some of those rules, and have you thought about what you think the evolution of this golf season could be?
Because slowly but surely it looks like fans will be a factor.
I think so. By the time we get to Memorial, certainly, and that's 6 events in, and, you know, it'll be a small footprint, but it will be a footprint, and I think we're on pace for that. Because if you ask anyone here 2 months ago when they came up with this schedule, the vast majority of people had full, you know, coming back in early, it didn't sound like it was going to happen just 2 months ago. And here we are, and I think everyone's comfortable. I mean, if you look at the field here this week, it's the best field on tour this year. It's the best field this tournament's ever gotten. You have the top players who are comfortable with what the tour has put in place, and they want to come out and play golf. And, yeah, I do think things start getting relax a little bit more. And I understand entirely that the tour is operating under the premise that they want an abundance of caution, because the last thing they want, they know the sports world is watching, and they know they have to perform. They know they have to get this to go off without any big issues. And the testing that they did this week, no one tested positive, which is a huge bonus for everyone involved.
Do you think that the Ryder Cup gets banged, or do you think they play it?
I don't think, I mean, if I was a betting man, I don't think they play it, simply because the players have spoke almost with one voice on this. They do not want to play the Ryder Cup without fans. It just wouldn't feel right. And it's one thing to play here without fans, or Hilton Head next week, or going down the line. The Ryder Cup is all about the fans. You feed off that energy that we were just talking about, and all the top players have spoken out against it. And I just don't see, even if you did a limited footprint, and this is months away, and we don't know what's going to change by then, but even that doesn't really work. 8,000 fans really doesn't make a Ryder Cup. And I just have a hard time seeing how in the foreseeable future we can allow 30,000 people in a small space again.
I know you're younger. I don't know what Colin Montgomery's real deal was, but I certainly know what people thought about him. He sort of was a villainy guy. DeChambeau comes back. Did you recognize him? His size, he doesn't even look like the same cat right now. Can I ask who's the guy on the tour that's closest to Colin Montgomery? He might be misunderstood, but people are trying to figure out, do I like this guy or not? I kind of decide I haven't.
Yeah, I can see Bryson certainly falls in that category, and I was always a fan of Monty, especially as a reporter that carried a notebook. I mean, if you talk to him on Wednesday, he was insightful and fun to be around and witty, and then, of course, you'd have a bad round on Thursday, and you didn't want to get anywhere close to him. It was kind of a Jekyll and Hyde kind of deal, and Bryson's a little bit like that, where, you know, the emotions are very much part. We sort of look at this machine, this robot who's just trying to go out and perfect the golf swing and do it one very specific way. However, there are emotions involved with him. I mean, he's not a robot out there, and you see sort of the swing of those emotions on his golf course. And misunderstood is probably the way I would put it. I found it fascinating that Bryson put on 20 pounds of muscle during the pandemic and shot 5 under yesterday. Gary Woodland lost about 20 pounds and shot 5 under yesterday. I don't know what the lesson is there, but I'm fascinated by what it might be.
Rex, we appreciate the insight. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you down the line.
Don't break any rules. They're watching.
Thanks, guys.
Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel with us on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line.
Did you see DeChambeau?
Yeah, he's huge.
Doesn't even look like the same guy.
Like a pro wrestler.
I saw him swing out of his shoes on one drive yesterday. What did they say he was doing? Did he uncork a 350-yarder?
Yeah, he may have invested in some creatine over the course of the shutdown. Anyway, the 11 o'clock hour brought to you by Reliable Heating and Air. Take advantage of preseason deep discounts happening now on replacing your heating and cooling system. Get up to $1,349 cash back. Make no payments for 6 months or 0% APR for 60 months. Get ahead of the season. Domino says baseball fans are going to be very happy by the time Sunday rolls around as Pedro Gomez.
Is today Friday?
You said it, and you're going to stick to your guns, by golly. I'm going to see to it. Does Pedro Gomez from ESPN agree? Find out when we come back as he joins us on Domino and Cellini on the Fan YouTube channel as well as the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM.
Has somebody in your house said, oh, No. Talking about your finances. Hey, look, when all this stuff started, I don't know what kind of health your finances were in, but there's a really good chance that during what's going on in the world, you might not have been one of those people to actually make the gains that sometimes people can make when other people are having troubles. Most people are now in a situation where they have to reassess. Here's what I don't think you should do. Run to YouTube to say, how should I invest my money? Where should I put it? Probably not the safest of plans. You want to learn how to fly a kite? Go to YouTube. You want to actually figure out how you're going to retire? Don't. Three Bridges Financial Group at threebridgesfinancialgroup.com and Tom Gandolfi are there to actually answer the real questions. And remember, the questions you get answered and the questions you have to ask are the ones that are going to help set up your retirement. Don't actually do it on the YouTube. Don't cross your fingers. Not a good plan either. Have your money make money for you. Tom and his group can actually show you how that happens. You know what the good news is? Speaking of your financial health, if I told you something really valuable was free, go do it. ThreeBridgesFinancialGroup.com. Sign up to get your in-person assessment and your financial health checked by Tom and his people over at Three Bridges Financial.
The NBA is back next month, and only one Atlanta station brings you every playoff game and every long-awaited moment of the 2020 NBA Finals.
And it's over! The Raptors have their first championship. They dethrone the dynasty.
As the league gears up for an unprecedented return, trust Atlanta's hometown team and the worldwide resources of ESPN for all the latest updates and live call of all the big games.
Hey, it's Shaq O'Neal. When you want the biggest and best playoff coverage in Atlanta, we are the only place to get it.
This is Atlanta's 28-year home for the NBA, The Fan.
For almost all of us, our home is the most valuable possession dollar-wise that we will ever own. And your roof is the largest exterior project that can take place at your home. And since you've been working from home, you've probably thought, I got a problem with that roof. It's ugly, it's old, it's worn out. How long's it been up there? Well, when it needs repairing or replacing, it's as important as any work you'll have done around your property. And when that was the case with the Olivers, we turned to Roof It Forward and roofitforward.com. They will come out to your home and perform a free video roof inspection and show you exactly what is or isn't happening on your roof. To reduce any potential health concerns, most of the interaction can take place digitally with no need to enter your home, plus a one-day installation and cleanup in most cases, and help kids in need by supporting Camp Sunshine. So why in the world would you call anyone else when you need a roofing company? roofitforward.com.
A-R-A-C, Roof It Forward helps some kids in need.
It's summer and you expected to hear that, but instead, you're hearing this. If you're sick of the fighting, the pointless back and forth and sleeping on the couch, maybe it's time. Look, no one gets married to get divorced, but as a proud partner and a trusted expert of the Fan, the team at Oxendine Law are the people to turn to for all your questions about divorce. Call them today at 770-497-8688 or visit oxlawfirm.com. Oxendine Law. We play to win.
Born in Atlanta and proud to be your source for sports, news, and talk. This is WCNN North Atlanta, a Dickey broadcasting station and an Atlanta original. We are The Fan.
Oh! 11:07, Domino, Cellini, The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Thanks for taking the time to listen. The 11 o'clock hour brought to you by Reliable Heating and Air. Greatest TV show theme. What is it? That's our Twitter question of the morning. This, of course, The Sopranos. David Chase, the creator of The Sopranos, did a podcast, and he let something slip that the hosts were fortunately listening to and called him out on, to which he responded, blank you. He called it the final scene of The Sopranos, Tony's death scene. So he let it slip that, yes, indeed, Tony Soprano did die.
He just spoiled it for me.
He was eliminated. He was assassinated. He was whacked.
So was the alternative that Tony, I guess there's two alternatives to the he gets whacked. He didn't say anything else about the rest of the family. Is it a total or is it just Tony? Maybe that's the next piece of information he'll let wink, wink slip. It might be time to be promoting the next thing in The Sopranos. So
well, I thought
it's been about 8 years. So
I thought the prequel was coming out, Tony's son in real life.
Well, no, he's dead now. I don't know. He got killed in a diner.
James Gandolfini's son in real life was supposed to play the young Tony Soprano.
Yeah, I get it.
But I don't know if because of the pandemic, production stopped. I don't know what the status of that movie is right now.
I never thought anything other than that. Why would a hitman actually be in the diner with them unless you're going to tell me, well, for the rest of his life, he's got to look over his shoulder? That's the message where,
That's
no,
how
then
I
don't
took
fit.
it. He's looking around. You're seeing it through his eyes. That's how he sees everybody. Is this guy out to get me? Is this person out to get me? Who's this guy over here? That's the way I saw it.
Then what are you doing sitting in a diner putting your family in harm's way?
That's just the way you think. No matter where you go, no matter what you're doing, that's your thought process because you're that guy.
I would like to say that David Chase blew nothing for me. So I'm okay. He didn't need to drop an FU to anybody he was doing the podcast with or anything else.
All right, let's talk some baseball. Never mind the Sopranos. Pedro Gomez from ESPN with us on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line. Unless Pedro wants to talk Sopranos.
Maybe he would like to chime in.
That is up to Pedro. I don't know. Pedro, how you doing this morning?
I am well. Sounds like I missed a good segment
Pedro, at the end of Sopranos, when I go fade to black with Steve Perry singing, did you think Tony got whacked, or do you think that Tony and his family get out of that diner unscathed?
I think if all of us got whacked, actually. I thought it was like a metaphor that you're all getting whacked here.
Oh my goodness, the depth.
That is deep.
The depth.
All right, so
I'm sorry.
I don't even listen. We appreciate
it. It's my all-time favorite show. There's never been a show like it. And that was how I like.
Hold on, hold on. Listen, before we get to this baseball nonsense, and there's a ton of nonsense around baseball, I need for you to explain to me again what you thought it was a metaphor for.
I thought it wasn't just Tony and Carmela and everybody getting whacked there. I thought we were the ones who got whacked. We, the audience. It's like, okay, boom, you're all gone.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I didn't mean to blow your mind.
I'm trying to regain my bearings now. Pedro Gomez with us on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line. So, Chris, you say baseball by Sunday, they're going to decide it's going to be back. Pedro, do you think by this weekend we have a definitive answer one way or another on the return of Major League Baseball?
I would like to say yes, but every indication is that we will not know that quickly. I think it's still going to be a back and forth. I think we're getting closer, but it's still, there's still a huge gulf between the two sides. And the reality is that, yes, the clock is ticking to a degree, but, you know, let's say that whole 82-game plan is really what they want to do. Well, if you just do the math, that can actually start sometime in the middle of July and still get 80 games. So as much as we want everything to get moving, I don't know that it necessarily is, okay, we have to know by such and such date, otherwise there will not be a season. Plus, the commissioner always has in his back pocket the ability to just unilaterally say, okay, 48-game season or whatever he wants to say, and you either show up and get paid or you don't, and we'll figure it out with other players.
Do you think the bickering publicly will continue? And it's baseball, so maybe it shouldn't surprise anybody, but did it surprise you that it reached the level that it did, knowing everything that's going on in the world today?
Look, baseball historically is the one sport that we have always heard things that are going on before they go on, whether it's trades, firings, anything. It doesn't matter what. It's the one sport, when you take the four major sports into account, it's the one that is the most gossipy and has the most to talk about, and that people really care about what's going on. I don't know that the other sports rise to that level when it comes to, hey, this guy might get traded, or that guy might get released, or this guy might lose his spot in the starting rotation, or that manager is going to get fired. I just think that for whatever reason, baseball has always had the ability to have a stranglehold on sports fans when it comes to the gossip part more than the other sports.
Do you think there's any chance that we get a mandate from the commissioner of baseball saying, hey, gentlemen, July 14th, 56 games, and that's that? Do you think it could ever come down to that for this sport?
I think it could. I think it absolutely could. That would not be good, especially with the collective bargaining agreement set to expire after the 2021 season. I think it could do a lot of damage. But let's face it, the commissioner answers to the 30 owners. Those are his bosses. And if the 30 bosses say, look, we need baseball this year, but we don't want to pay that much, and a 48-game season is what we will do, then that's what the commissioner will do. He will do whatever those 30 bosses of his tell him to do.
I'm so glad you worded it that way, because this has been a thing on this show for close to 20 years. I'm so tired of the commissioner of baseball working for the owners when I know what side of the table he's on in actual negotiations, not make-a-believe negotiations, real negotiations. That's not a commissioner of anything. He's not a commissioner for me. If I'm a fan, he's not the commissioner of anything.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would say Adam Silver is probably the closest commissioner there is to being truly impartial and working both sides of the fence. I think Roger Goodell is, he does whatever the 32 owners say. Look, when we talk about Rob Manfred, the last 3 or 4 CBAs that have been agreed to, Rob Manfred was the architect of those on the major league side. He was the union lawyer who was Bud Selig's deputy commissioner, who negotiated and wrote what the owners wanted. So it should not be a surprise that Rob Manfred is going to side with the owners. That's just the reality of it.
Pedro Gomez is with us from ESPN on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line here on the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Ken Kendrick, the owner of the Diamondbacks, talked about revenue sharing and alluded to a salary cap. Will that day ever happen in Major League Baseball?
If the owners decide to truly open up their books, maybe, because, the union has been very suspicious of how owners can cook the books and make it look like they're making little profit or losing money without truly opening up all of the books. And I think one of the biggest reasons that baseball is the only sport without a salary cap is that baseball owners, as much as they talk about, yes, let's have revenue sharing, let's have a split of the profits, they do not want to truly open up their books and never have. It's a lot of lip service on the part of owners saying, we need this. This will help the competitive balance of the game. But when it comes down to it, they don't want to open their books.
Can I ask a couple of things real quick? Pedro Gomez joins us now. I don't know physically where you were in 1998. Were you still out in the Bay Area? Were you still doing stuff with Oakland maybe then?
No, I was working at the Arizona Republic, and I was the national baseball writer at the Republic here in Phoenix, which is still where I live. And I was assigned for the month of August, basically, into September, the Sosa McGuire
that's perfect
chase. And I was at a lot of the St. Louis Cardinals games.
Okay. My question is, do you believe on Sunday night, and I don't know if you've actually seen it yet, do you think we'll get one quotable quote from either one of these two guys Monday morning that we'll be talking about?
I think we'll be talking about it, but I don't think it's going to be anything memorable.
Yeah.
I think, we've all seen, I have not seen it, by the way, but I've seen the commercials for it, and I thought Bob Costas is probably going to be the closest thing where he says, we just didn't realize the price we would pay for it.
Because I'm looking forward to reliving the idea. I think that game on ESPN, it was a September game in 1998, Cubs-Cardinals, it still might be the highest-rated regular season game in ESPN history when he was trying to tie Maris's record, or maybe he was sitting on 61 at that point.
It might have been that or the Cal Ripken game, which was also an ESPN game where he broke Lou Gehrig's record. But it's one of those two. They're 1 and 2. I don't know what order they go in. I apologize for not having that information, but I believe those are the two highest ESPN-rated games, which is cable, which is not network television, so it's not going to be. And it's, obviously in the post-cable era, because you could go back to the pre-cable era, and those ratings will never, ever be touched again.
Did you ever feel like you were scammed during all this? Bamboozled, hoodwinked?
Retrospectively, of course. At the time, I think everyone got swept up in the celebration of what was going on. And look, I was an Oakland A's beat writer before I came to the Arizona Republic, so I covered McGuire. I covered Canseco. I actually went to high school with Canseco in Miami. I covered those great A's teams that subsequently, were found to have had quite a few people that may have used steroids, that did or may have. And I will say this, and people always say, well, didn't you know? It's like, no, they weren't walking around the clubhouse saying, hey, I got yours here, let me bend over, let me inject you, or here, take these pills. But, they knew what they were doing was wrong, which is why they were so secretive of what they were doing and why they hid it for so long. They knew they were defaming themselves as well as the game of baseball. So for anyone to say that, oh, the reporters all should have known, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. They weren't volunteering the information, that's for sure.
Pedro Gomez from ESPN with us. So you're part of the home run chase at the end of the 98 season. We know that you followed Barry Bonds for a better part of 3 seasons. Day in, day out, how much access do you have to a guy like Barry Bonds, and what was that like being around him as he chases and then passes Hank Aaron?
Well, the access was there because the clubhouses are open before and after games. But access does not mean that you're getting a willing participant on the other end. It was at a whim when he wanted to speak, and the majority of the time he did not. And I would say this about people like Bonds and everybody else. I would say to the sporting public, trust your instincts. Whatever you think of someone is usually pretty accurate of the type of person they are. And I remember somebody with the Giants front office once telling me, anybody who likes Barry Bonds has never met Barry Bonds, which is pretty damning of a statement.
And if you really...
that truly does speak for itself, Pedro.
But here's what's amazing. Yeah. You're willing to tolerate that because the alternative was moving to Tampa. I mean, you can tell me the house at Ruth built.
Well, you're also willing to put up with it because you're getting incredible performance. I mean, look, let's not be naive. Sports organizations, professional clubs put up with a lot with somebody who is performing for them.
You mean good for business? They're good for business.
Yeah, the moment good for the win total, good for the gate total, all of those things. I will say this: look, there's a lot of people around San Francisco that say that Giants ballpark that opened in 2000 is the house that Bonds built. It's hard to argue that point.
Oh, it's a real thing.
He got there in absolutely. He got there in '93. The Giants were on the verge of going to Tampa, like you said, or Toronto, and all of a sudden, Toronto was years before. Sorry, not Toronto, but Tampa, and all of a sudden, that franchise turned around on a dime and started winning and started being something again. And all of a sudden, that stadium got built. And I will say this: that's one of the few, or one of the early, and few at the time, stadiums that was privately funded. That was not used with public money at all.
And good for business was Barry Bonds and that group. Before we let you go, and we always enjoy bumping into you in spring training or if you come into town. On the other side of that, how much were you aware as a young guy, 1990, early 90s, of trying to seek out former players, guys who played in the 40s, 50s, 60s, whether it was spring training or whether it was actually guys who would be at the ballpark, they were being honored or whatever it was. Were you one of those guys who wanted to, saddle up and hear some of those stories pretty early on in your career?
100%, and I still am to this day. I became friends with people like Harmon Killebrew, who sadly, is no longer with us. Bob Feller, whenever I went to Cleveland, I always made it a point, because he was always in the press box, just to sidle up to him. Al Kaline in Detroit, Willie Horton, and still to this day, when I go to spring training, and that's when usually, clubs will bring back former players, I always make it a point of going up and just wanting to listen to what they have to say. I go to Goodyear here in Arizona, and Mario Soto is there almost all the time. I love listening to Mario Soto. Talk about a bulldog back in his day, by the way. But just, yes, absolutely, 100%.
Do you know what's different? And Nick and I have talked about this a lot, and it's come up for a couple of different reasons. Organically the first time, but now we bring it up with guys like you. People have asked what's changed in the 25 or 26 years, and you've covered it longer than that. I said, well, you used to have a beer with a guy at the end of a game. You used to meet a guy at 2 o'clock in a dugout, and you would sit and BS for an hour just because you wanted to BS for an hour, talking about the game, current day, and certainly
there's a lot of places to hide in these new clubhouses.
Yeah, it's just those conversations really don't take place now.
They don't, and now it's there's usually a PR person hovering around you if you are speaking to someone, which inhibits the player's ability to truly open up. Look, I when I was covering the Diamondbacks back in the early days of their existence, Mark Grace got traded here, and after a game, Mark Grace had one of those little ashtrays. You know the ashtrays that used to, like from the 60s, that was like it was a little stand that stood about 2 to 3 feet tall.
I had one in my house.
Just like just a stick, but with the ashtray on top of it. He had one of those in front of his locker, and they used to bring him 6 beers in a bucket. And you could sit there and talk to Mark Grace after a game for 90 minutes if you wanted, and nobody was there to say, okay, clubhouse is closed, got to leave, got to go. Or no one was there to listen to what you were saying, what he was saying, things like that. And those are the days I remember more than anything. Same thing in the A's clubhouse, same thing in every clubhouse back in the day.
But you also, there was this thing where you didn't ever pull up a chair, but a guy would say, hey, pull up a chair. And that's when you knew there's a chance he might give you one of those 6 beers, and you were just going to sit there and talk for a little bit.
I mean, I'll be honest. I never took a beer, even though Gracie would offer them. I just felt that professionally, that wasn't the situation or the scenario to do that. But I will say this: on the road, you'd see guys at bars, and they would say, "Hey, let me buy you a beer." Yeah. And I used to remember talking to guys when I covered the Marlins, the A's as a beat writer, the D-backs. I would always, some of them would freak out like, oh, shit, you're not, sorry. Oh, you're not going to write about this, are you? And I would say, listen, the only reason I'll write about it is if you get arrested. If you get arrested, there's a police report, I've got to report it. If you're here having beers by yourself, I don't care. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, if I find out you're 17, I don't know, maybe there's a story here someplace, but just the idea that we're going to have a beer is now.
Before we let you go, Pedro Gomez, you brought it up. You went to high school with Jose Canseco. Can you give us one good story from Jose or his twin brother Ozzie from high school?
Well, Ozzie's name was Obi at the time. His name was Osvaldo, but when they were young, growing up, Jose couldn't say Osvaldo, so Obi is what came out. So he was always Obi. You know what? Tremendous athletes. Obi was absolutely the better ball player. Jose was insubordinate as hell and did not play varsity baseball until his 12th grade year. He got pushed down to JV in 11th grade because he got into a fight with the head coach, Luis Brandy, at the time at Coral Park High School. And Brandy said, that's it, you're out of here, go to JV. Just tremendous athletes. We used to play, pick-up football, like tackle football, but not with pads, just, how you play in a park, things like that. Parties, the usual nonsense. But Jose did not really, he was not an academic kid at all. Obi, on the other hand, was.
Hold on.
I'm just trying to think of how many home runs.
Hold on. Might be the least shocking thing I hear all day that Jose wasn't in the world of academia.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how many home runs Jose Canseco hit at the JV level.
Well, the field at Coral Park had a short left field, and they actually had to build like a 40-foot chain link fence in left because there was a row of houses. There was a street right behind left field and houses, and he used to break a lot of windows. And so they raised the fence to like 40 feet. It was chain link. But right there on, I believe it was 12th Street, right behind our school, he used to break quite a few windows.
Well, fantastic stuff. Pedro Gomez, always entertaining, always informative. We thank you for coming on. Hopefully we can talk again real soon.
Absolutely, guys. Take care.
Thanks,
you
Pedro.
do the same. Pedro Gomez from ESPN with us on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line. So Jose Canseco not big on cracking the books.
Yeah, he wasn't in AP Physics. Not shocking.
And he did not respect authority. None of that is surprising. When we come back, more praise for this young Falcon, or shall I say Falcons, on a national level. Domino and Cellini on The Fan, also on The Fan's YouTube channel. It is The Fan 680 and 93.7 FM.
The 11 a.m. hour is presented by Reliable Heating and Air. Reliable is taking care of you. Get cool today and pay later. Reliable is paying your first 6 months of payments on qualifying system installs.
Reliable air, it's always just right.
Atlanta is on its way back, and the Fan and Extra 106.3 want to put your business in the small business spotlight. Presented by Georgia Primary Bank.
Oh, man, thank you guys for having us aboard. We appreciate what you're doing for small businesses. I think this is a great thing that the radio station is doing.
Tell us what's going on, what you need, and how we can help by sending an email to smallbusiness@680thefan.com. And every Friday, every show on both stations is highlighting some of Atlanta's incredible local businesses. The Small Business Spotlight, presented by Georgia Primary Bank. Your community, your bank. For more information on all the businesses we featured, visit 680thefan.com.
Finn here for my new teammates at Clout Home Services. Before the temp starts to rise up this summer, make sure your home is ready with a whole home efficiency analysis. They don't just treat the issues your home and AC unit may be having, they treat the source. When something breaks in your home, Clout understands that it can be super stressful. After you experience their remarkable customer service and attention to detail, those worries just melt away. Find them on the web at cloutair.com. They are locally owned and operated. That's cloutair.com, the premier Lennox dealer in Atlanta.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores, the score used by 90% of top lenders, for free, even if you're not a customer. Checking your score won't hurt your credit, and you can check each month for changes, always for free. The Discover Credit Scorecard, free for everyone. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
We know these are difficult times for businesses, and knowing your banker can be the difference between closing your doors or reopening them. Piedmont Bank is a strong community bank run by experienced business professionals, committed to having personal relationships with our business customers. We want you to know we are here to help your business grow more resilient. Visit Piedmont.bank or call us at 770-246-0011 to get to know your banker today.
Sunny days are here again, a time when Mother Nature shows us that all colors are beautiful. But your friends at Botany Bay Florist will deliver joyful, colorful flowers to the people that you love. And that's anywhere across Atlanta. Go to botanybayflorist.com. Tell them Sandra sent you. That's botanybayflorist.com.
Peachy Airport Parking. The lowest rates, so secure and rewarding. Park indoors and avoid the weather. Book in advance. The prices are better. Check our .com for great Peachy deals. Save even more with our rewards club. You feels? Peachy Airport Parking. Whatever perks you like, it's Peachy.
This is the Fans Sports Center.
From the Breda Pest Sports Desk, visit BredaPest.com.
Jordan Spieth has pounced. Good morning. It is Sports Center time here on the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. The second round of the Charles Schwab Challenge being played at the Colonial in Fort Worth, Texas today. Jordan Spieth is now your leader at 10 under par through 5 with a one-stroke lead on Xander Schauffele. Again, we'll keep you updated all day long. The NBA season going to resume on July the 30th. The league says 14 of the teams will be out within 53 days of arriving. Only 4 teams will remain after 67 days. The NFL notified teams virtual off-season work will last until June the 26th, but there will be no in-person mini camps. The NCAA Oversight Committee passed a 6-week practice plan for the season starting on time for teams like Georgia that begin the season on Labor Day weekend. The workouts would begin on July the 13th. You're listening to The Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
The Fan is live and local every weeknight as we bring you Guys Night Out, presented by Superior Plumbing, with Ben Ingram, Kevin McAlpin, and Jay Chad from 7 to 9 p.m.
Let's go. I agree. Let's go.
The Braves guys are keeping the fun going, walking you right up to Braves extra innings at 9 p.m.
Hey, Kennedy, let's go. Deep right field, back to the chop house. Did he just turn out the lights? He did.
Guys Night Out and Braves extra innings every weeknight on Atlanta's 28-year home for sports, The Fan.
Is this 90210? Why do I know that? 1132 Domino and Cellini, The Fan.
What a bad actor you are. Let me be Nick Cellini. Is this my camera? Am I on camera too?
We are on the Fans YouTube channel. Like and subscribe.
Wait. Is this 90210?
It's sad that I know it. But I do. And that's our Twitter question of the morning today at 680 The Fan is Sean Nerney, at Chris Domino, at Cellini Nick, your favorite TV theme song. And somebody did say 90210.
Why
By the way, if you go to 680thefan.com right now, you can listen live. You can also get signed up for the brand new 680 Fan Club. You get discounts, promotions, unique content, and more. Every week, in fact, new members entered to win a different prize from the Fan. This week, giving away a $50 Vero Pizzeria gift card. Sign up now at 680thefan.com.
I believe I'm right about this, and I'm not trying to pretend like you. Is this 90210 when you knew it was? Tiffany Amber Thiessen, I believe, was on 90210.
She was, yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I think this. I'm going to tell you
also Kelly Kapowski on Saved by the Bell.
Right. I'm telling you this, that I think, and I have no reason to know this or believe this other than gut. I think I'd like to go have a beer. I think she's probably got it together. Of all the ones
I can't vouch for her, but I understand what you're saying.
Like, we've heard stories about this one and that one. Oh, kind of difficult to work with. This guy's kind of difficult to work with. Keep away. I just sense that at the height, and by the way, there was a height for her, no doubt about it. It was hyped up, and rightfully so. I think she probably came out at the other side more normal than anybody. And I have no idea why I think that other than it's a gut.
Better than normal, tremendous breakout player. That's what Calvin Ridley is going to be. In fact, he is going to be the breakout player in the NFC this year, says Nate Burleson from the NFL Network.
It's tough to say that he's going to have a breakout year because he already has 17 touchdowns in a couple of seasons. I mean, I wish I had 17 going into year 3. But I would say yes, though, for the simple fact that there is no more Devontae Freeman. I mean, there is no more Austin Hooper. So there's going to be balls that are available. Now targets can go more towards Calvin Ridley. And let's just keep it real, man. He's still playing with Julio Jones, who is considered the best receiver. I mean, he's right up there with Michael Thomas, individuals like A.J. Green, if he can get back healthy. But Calvin Ridley being in the position that I was for so long, playing next to Randy Moss, playing next to Calvin Johnson, there's a certain luxury you have when you're starting receivers taking away all of the attention. If he could put up 1,600 yards, almost 1,700 yards and 17 touchdowns in the first 2 seasons, I guarantee he'll ball out this year.
So you're feeling good about that, much like Dirk Cutter saying the sky is the limit. Even though he's got 17 touchdowns in 2 years, he's just scratching the surface right now. He's still learning how to play that position.
Whose assessment was better, mine of Tiffany Amber Thiessen or his on Calvin Ridley?
I got to tell you, it's 50-50. I'm feeling good about both of them right now, and you're going to feel even better now as a Falcons fan because Mike Garofalo from Good Morning Football on the NFL Network says it's another Falcon that could be the breakout player.
So I've got the entire NFL to pick from to counter your argument here. I don't need the other 31. I'm staying with the Falcons. I am going with Hayden Hurst, the tight end who came in from Baltimore, where they really didn't get to use his skill set maybe the way they had initially imagined. And I am so glad we are showing this play right now because on this play, Hayden Hurst was clocked at 20.5 miles per hour. This was week 14, the fastest of any Ravens player to that point in the season. And we know there are a lot of fast players on the Ravens. So Matt Ryan saying this guy is going to be a matchup nightmare. Finally going to have his skill set utilized. Breakout for Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst, of course, the long touchdown catch and run against the Buffalo Bills that everybody sees time and time again whenever his name is brought up. You see all of the potential in Hayden Hurst in that one single play.
I do believe my breakdown was better than his. I might have been a toss-up with Burleson, but I do think that I might have perhaps broken it down a little bit better than the Hayden Hurst breakdown.
And Matt Ryan is mad as heck, and he's not going to take it anymore. For him, anyway, he goes crazy.
Oh, wait, are you going to do this again?
Yeah, I am, because just about everybody, I think us included, are picking the Falcons behind the Saints and the Buccaneers. Matt Ryan says in response to that, and I quote, I have the belief that we are right there with all of those teams. They've had to deal, and they're going to deal with us as well. We create a number of issues for those teams to go against. If we play our best, we can go toe-to-toe with anyone any week. Now, for him, that's cutting a Hulk Hogan-type wrestling promo. For Matt Ryan, relatively speaking, he goes crazy.
I must say, I'm a little turned on by what you just did.
All right. That's
very Churchillian.
TMI, but thank you for offering that.
No. I believe you dug deep. I believe you got to the soul of not only Matt Ryan and his comments, but what the NFL season could be here in this town. I was moved.
So you feel good after hearing all of that if you're a Falcons fan?
No.
Physically, you can feel good after perhaps participating in what this small business has to offer.
The Small Business Spotlight, presented by Georgia Primary Bank. Your community, your bank.
Kareem Lalani is the owner of Yoga 6. You can follow them on social media at Yoga6_Dunwoody on Instagram, Yoga6 Dunwoody on Facebook as well. Kareem, thanks for coming on and talk to the folks about how you can help them feel better during these trying times.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. It's really helpful to be spotlighted like this, and I love what you're doing for the community. And yeah, for everybody who's out there, Yoga 6 is really meant for the masses. We realize that in Atlanta, our home, there was a need for something like Yoga 6, which is a yoga studio for the masses. No matter if you're doing this for the first time, you're thinking about it, or you've been practicing for 10 years, you're going to get real value out of Yoga 6. You're going to have a fun workout. It's going to challenge you. It's going to make you feel better. And I promise you're going to walk out feeling better than you walked in. And now, more than ever, I know there's a lot going on in the world. People are stressed. They're worried. I promise you this is the perfect antidote to that.
Can I ask, and I'm not sure of this, are there, not like karate, are there belts that you can, but I'm assuming you could assess this person's good at yoga, this person's a beginner. Are there levels of yoga accomplishments?
I think, people assume, I think unofficially there are, but that's the beauty of Yoga 6. I took my first ever yoga class 2 years ago. I never thought I would be into it, let alone own a business with it. It really doesn't matter where you are and where your skill set is. Our methodology is such that no matter when you walk in, you're going to be able to do the majority of the workouts successfully, and you're going to walk out feeling better. It's really funny. We actually have some neighbors in our complex. It's a CrossFit studio. We have running areas. We've got Pilates studios. Everybody comes in because they're hurting, they're in pain, they want to feel restored. They come in, they feel better after they leave, and within 6 months, you're going to be as good as everybody else in that room.
Kareem Lalani is with us, owner of Yoga 6. And I think one of the things that people don't realize when it comes to yoga is it's something that could supplement your other workouts. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. One of our most popular classes is what we call our restore workout. And it's really just, focused at stretching out those major muscle groups. So it's a big favorite for people who run a lot, who lift a lot of weights, because they tend to forget, it's not just your little 30-second stretch before a workout. You've got to really get after it. And for people who have back problems, knee problems, they've got those daily aches and pains that just don't go away. Yoga is really going to be the one that addresses it for you, because it allows more blood to get into those muscles. It allows those nutrients to get in. It's really going to help you with recovery, and you're actually going to be able to work out better and more efficiently if you're able to bring in yoga to your life. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I'm going to also say that, look, part of me might have been a cynic years ago and said, oh, okay, well, hold on. What's this sort of phase and craze thing? But I do believe that mentally there might not be anything. I'm not speaking because I know nothing about it, but I do believe mentally, if you can get yourself to the place where you're doing this consistently, you've got to be in a better place overall in your life. Like, I'm not even selling that. I got no vested interest in this, but I do believe that people who perhaps are into this might have a better opportunity to turn on and off the switch of life every day.
You're exactly right. And I'll tell you, it's amazing to see the transformation. Like I said, especially now when you're able to bring something like yoga into your life. People tend to do yoga for one of 4 different reasons. They want to look better, they want to feel better, their doctor told them to, or they want to reduce their stress. I can't tell you how many people walk into our studio who are just tired of the day-to-day, right? If you're a parent, you've got your kids at home now. That's a new element. Instead of sending them to camps, you've got to keep them engaged. You're working from home a lot. You're spending a lot more time with your partner or people that are in your immediate circle, but you're missing that day-to-day aspect that gives you that break. Our studio can help give you that break, especially now when stress is at an all-time high, to allow you to sort of balance out and just feel better and be able to attack the other things in your day. Because when you can walk into our studio for that 1 hour, you're just focused on yourself. Nothing else matters. And you're just focused on your practice, and you get to have fun with it. And it just gives you that much more ammunition to be able to do everything else in your day-to-day life.
Kareem Lalani is with us, owner of Yoga 6. You talk about stressful times. Financially, people are stretched and stressed as well, and that's where you have an offer of, 25% off a monthly membership as of right now?
Yeah, that's 25% off for life. And for everybody who's listening in and whoever you want to tell, our first class is going to be free. So it's on us. Don't even worry about it. Come in, try us out, see what you think. And we know boutique fitness is expensive. It's, you see when you go into these places, it's hundreds of dollars a month. We're going to be $94.50. we want to be able to provide you with an affordable option. We know it's a little tough out there. That rate's going to stay for life. It's not going to be a crazy contract or anything. And for anybody that wants to come in and give us a shot, we'd love to have you in. Our treat. And we're actually giving that first month for half off. So it's going to be something that's really affordable for a lot of folks.
So check it out at yoga6_Dunwoody on Instagram, yoga6 Dunwoody on Facebook. Kareem, thanks for coming on. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Kareem Lalani, owner of Yoga 6. It's our small business spotlight presented by Georgia Primary Bank. Your community, your bank. GeorgiaPrimaryBank.com. When we come back, foul language for all to hear. Is this the future of sports? We heard it loud and clear yesterday. Domino has a loose end or two to tie up for us as well to end the week.
You are just, I can't even believe it. You just sound so... There's a magnetism coming
I almost
off.
sound like I know what I'm doing. It's Domino and Cellini on the Fans YouTube channel as well. The Fan 680 and 93.7 FM.
All right, I'm looking at the camera right now. Is it still on? Is it on? Is it on? Is it on?
Yeah, it's
what
on.
am I holding up? What am I holding up?
Two fingers.
Two spots left to complete game broadcasting. Two. Not this many. Not 7. Not 28. 2. If you want to actually get started on June 29th to having a skill set that might actually lead to a change in your career path or actually enhance it, Complete Game Broadcasting is doing that right now. Tim Nunn and his group have said, sure, get online, CompleteGameStudio.com. Get the virtual tour. Find out about what it is you're going to get at the end of 9 weeks. Afternoon and evening sessions. It's your call, your choice. But only 2 spots left where you can actually, after 9 weeks, have a demo reel and be able to walk into any radio station. The equipment's pretty similar. TV station, same thing. And actually say, hey, here I am. As a matter of fact, I have a skill, and I'd like to get into this business. Just have an ambition and a want, that's not really going to carry it anymore. Go with Complete Game Broadcasting. Complete Game Broadcasting Studio, you can actually set up your one-on-one walkthrough with Tim Nunn, the guy who runs the place as well. And starting on June 29th with only 2 spots left, you can actually now be on the path to actually doing something different with your life if you choose in as little as 9 weeks.
Atlanta is on its way back, and the Fan and Extra 106.3 want to put your business in the small business spotlight. Presented by Georgia Primary Bank.
Oh, man, thank you guys for having us aboard. We appreciate what you're doing for small businesses. I think this is a great thing that the radio station is doing.
Tell us what's going on, what you need, and how we can help by sending an email to smallbusiness@680thefan.com. And every Friday, every show on both stations is highlighting some of Atlanta's incredible local businesses. The Small Business Spotlight, presented by Georgia Primary Bank. Your community, your bank. For more information on all the businesses we featured, visit 680thefan.com.
Right now, Peach Pass knows that every little bit counts. We want you to know that you're not alone. We're all in this together. That's why every day on 680 The Fan, you can nominate a healthcare professional, first responder, transit workers, or retail employee to win a 4-pack of tickets to a future Atlanta Braves home game in 2021. Peach Pass wants you to be brave, Atlanta, and honor those making sacrifices for the A. Visit 680thefan.com today for more details. Peach Pass. Be brave, Atlanta. Keep moving.
Summer's here, your lawn needs a reliable lawnmower, and the guys at Howard Brothers want that mower to be a Honda. Honda mowers are reliable. They can mulch, bag, shred leaves, discharge the clippings with no extra tools or attachments. If you've already got a Honda mower and been using it every week this year, it's probably time to clean or change the air filter and sharpen the blades. Well, the folks at Howard Brothers can help. Howard Brothers got 5 locations that serve North Georgia in Alpharetta, Athens, Dorville, Duluth, and Oakwood. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Honda and Hobro.
Make someone's day by sending a beautiful bouquet of flowers from Botany Bay Florist. That's botanybayflorist.com. Now, Botany Bay Florist, I bet you've driven past it 100 times. It's right there in Sandy Springs on Roswell Road. They've been around for 50 years. I was in their gorgeous little studio and saw the most gorgeous pink Ecuadorian roses I've ever seen in my life. In fact, their array of flowers in all colors, any shape and size, they can make someone happy. Deliver joyful, colorful flowers to the people that you love. Go to botanybayflorist.com. Make sure to tell them Sandra sent you. That's botanybayflorist.com.
Reliable is giving back again. Help give away a complete heating and cooling system and a water heater to deserving first responders, essential workers, and frontline employees. Reliable is giving away 1 each month for the remainder of the year. Nominate at reliableair.com/hero.
This is the Fans Sports Center.
From the Breda Pest Sports Desk, visit BredaPest.com.
Spieth builds on his lead. Good morning. It is SportsCenter time here on the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Jordan Spieth now has a two-stroke lead in the second round of the Charles Schwab Challenge at the Colonial in Fort Worth, Texas. He's at 11 under par through 6. Xander Schauffele 2 strokes back at 9 under. Updates will come your way all day long. The NCAA Oversight Committee passed a 6-week practice plan for the season starting on time for teams like Georgia that begin the season on Labor Day weekend. The workouts would begin on July the 13th. The NFL notified teams virtual off-season work will last until June the 26th, but there will be no in-person mini camps. The NBA says their season will resume in Orlando on July the 30th. You're listening to the most powerful voice in sports, the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
Podcastpark.com is your home for all of the Fan and Extra 106.3's biggest shows, like the Audio Fun Bag with Los and Hoyt, Tales of Combat and Survival on Mark Zeno's Hazard Ground, Matt Chernoff's Check-In with Atlanta's sports icons in Welcome to Matlanta, and Domino's archive of baseball legends on his new show, Hardball. Get them all at thepodcastpark.com or wherever you subscribe to your favorite podcasts.
Boss man says you got ants in your pants. I said, I ain't got no ants. I ain't got no pants. I got cocaine. Give it a chance. Let that work whistle blow. The weekend is here. 11:48, Domino and Cellini. It's the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM. Wrapping up a Friday, working for that weekend.
Oh, I got to tell you, I have feelings for you that I haven't experienced in 20 years.
Well, there's no place to go but down.
Yeah.
Braves extra innings. Don't forget, until baseball does come back, we are replaying the 2019 campaign. Weeknights at 9, weekends at 1. For the first time, you can actually hear Braves baseball at 680thefan.com. Also on the mobile app, also on the TuneIn app. Here on your home of the Braves, the Fan, 680 and 93.7 FM.
Somebody did have a request because we're on YouTube. This really is it. I don't think it's ever made a TV or YouTube appearance before.
That is the bag that contains all of the interviews on mini discs, all of the old and some deceased baseball players that you have talked to over the years. All of them are in that bag.
You know what I'm thinking about next week? I think Marvin Miller. Never been played again, 18 years. We did it live one night, 36 minutes with the guy who actually started, founded, was the first guy in charge. Might be an opportune time to hear about him talking about what the office of the Players Association was back in the 60s when all this got started.
We talk about the second round of the PGA Charles Schwab Challenge taking place yesterday. CBS comes on the air, the Golf Channel, telecasting there through the CBS network. And Jim Nantz is on the call, and John Rahm chips in at the par 3 8th hole. And, well, this happens.
Here's Rahm at the 8th just a moment ago.
Pretty good there. Oh, I saw everything.
Well, we were hoping for better audio with no fans surrounding the course. Apologize if anybody was offended by what they may have heard there. Harold Varner, though, how about this?
Just move on. I apologize. On to the action.
Do you really have to apologize?
Kaboom. That was an F-bomb that was just dropped. That's why I am not Jim Nantz, and I'm not in his position, because it would have continued. Things like that would have happened.
Yeah, I get it.
Goodness, I think we're in a pool room.
So if it happens again, do you have to apologize the second time?
Well,
how quickly did he try to get out of it, by the way, by talking about something else that was going on over here?
As long as there are no fans or limited fans, this is what you're going to hear. There's nothing to drown it out, unless you want to be like the Premier League or Bundesliga and pipe in sound.
By the way, when there were fans, I would hear a guy cursing himself out when he hit a terrible 3-iron. And you see Koepka's stash? Is he trying too hard now?
I think anybody now
that's try too hard?
Growing a mustache like that, yeah.
Look, he's a handsome fella. He's got opinions. He's certainly better for the sport, be in it, be good some weeks, be not so good some weeks, and everything else. But I thought that was a little bit show-offy of him.
If I had a mustache, I would look like something from Super Mario Brothers. So that's not something I could pull off. You should try that, though. Shave off the bottom half and just keep the mustache. You had a mustache when you were younger, did you not?
Yeah, when I was 8. It was incredible. It took me to a doctor. True story. Jim Steinmetz. Swear to God, that was his name, my freshman basketball coach. Me and shocking Ernie Lunadelli. He once threw like those plastic Bic razors at us and said, "You think you're playing tonight looking like that?" I said, "Looking like what?" He goes, "Shave." I said, "Shave? All right." I sort of proud that he thought I had to shave.
Did your father teach you how to shave? I had to start shaving in 8th grade. I was this big in 8th grade.
My father teach me? No. No, my father didn't.
I had hair all over my neck. He said, Jesus, come here. You got to do something about this. I said, isn't that kind of your duty? I mean, he made it sound like it was a big task.
Hold on. Maybe
teach me how to shave.
Maybe they should have taken you to a doctor. How old?
8th grade. Me and Mario Piacquadio.
Yeah, me and Ernie Lunadelli.
Again, shocking that these are the names we're bringing up. You got any loose ends over there, aside from this to tie up?
Hey, Sean, what kind of trouble would a coach get in if he actually threw plastic razors at kids right now?
Times are different.
He chucked them at us.
Not as much trouble as if they had thrown metal razors.
That's true. First $1 million a year player in baseball. Do you know who it was? $1 million a year.
Lyman Bostock.
No, Nolan Ryan. Do you know the first $1 million contract signed in the NFL? It was not for 1 year, but it was for a sum beyond $1 million. I can't believe this might be true. And I'm looking. Johnny Lamb Jones. $2.1 million. Yep.
From the Jets.
$2.1 million, I think, was the first $1 million deal. And the first $1 million deal that I can find in North American sports history, Bobby Orr in 1971 signed a 5-year, $1 million deal to play out.
Which today is worth like $40 million.
I don't have that math in front of me. Somebody did ask me, by the way, they thought it was a very good call on Tiffany Amber Thiessen, who I think just goes by Tiffany Thiessen now. I don't want to...
Yes, I think the Amber has been absent for a while.
Give me an example of somebody age appropriate. She's 46, 47. She's age appropriate. That I think naturally is aged. I believe that she probably would go have a beer with you. You could have dinner with her. There's normalcy. Do you have anybody that you think would be, hey, you know what? I think that could be... Lauren Graham is another one that I think from the Gilmore Girls.
I'm going to go with Ann Margaret.
Well, that's not really the way I was playing this game. That's a little different. Age appropriate? Who's to say?
Yeah.
How old is Ann Margaret? Is she 80 yet?
At least.
Oh, is she at least 80?
She's got to be. I'll look it up. What else you got?
I don't think there was normal, though. I think my point was, who is it you like to go home and have dinner with? I think Ann Margaret might have been fun, as we like to say, for a while, but don't you think there was a lot of stuff going on?
Oh, Dal, who needs dinner? It'll turn into something like that.
Hold on. I don't think Ann Margaret, even to this day, sounds like that. What was she in Any Given Sunday? Did she play the mom of Cameron Diaz or something?
She was the owner. Yeah, the mother of the owner. Yeah.
How old is she?
Let's see here.
Sean, while he's finding that, anybody that you think is normal-ish that you go, you know what, I'd like to have a beer?
79 years old.
Oh, okay, we were right.
I don't know. I don't know if any of them are normal, but I'd love to have a beer with our girl Jessica Biel. She seems like a sports fan.
Okay. Age appropriate. What about you?
Oh, I just came up. I know this may be yours to me now. Anna Kendrick.
Yes. Who, by the way, you don't.
I don't see what you see.
Oh,
Again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
I think I want. That's a good example. I think I'd like to have a beer with her. That's my listen. I don't even pretend anymore. I just want to let's go have a beer.
I think Kobe Tai is someone I'd like to go have a drink with. You can look that up. Just make sure you're not at work.
Hold on. I don't know this person, so I'm assuming I should not right now on this computer. This one right here.
I wouldn't.
How do you spell that?
Kobe, Kobe, Tai.
T-A-I?
Yeah. Okay. She was in Really Bad Things. She was the hooker that was in the bathroom that died that led to all of the issues with the group. You know, the Christian Slater,
really?
Cameron Diaz vehicle, back to Cameron Diaz.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that. What made you think of that?
I don't know.
Of all the people you could have chosen.
I don't know.
It's very interesting. And when I say interesting, you need to go to Dr. John.
Everything I just built up credit-wise went out the window.
Sean, are you really an Anna Kendrick fan? Did you make that up?
Oh, no. BJ actually said, Brandon Joseph back here, he actually mentioned that name, and I knew it would strike a chord with you.
All right. Could be the Twitter question. I don't even know if you're allowed to
I say Kobe Tai, you say Anna Kendrick. What makes us different is what makes us great. Want to thank Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel for joining us. Pedro Gomez from ESPN as well. Brandon Joseph making sure we stayed on TV on the YouTube channel. Thank you.
Did you know that when you were doing your update, there were birds flying in front of you?
I kind of saw it, but I was trying to focus on the task at hand.
That's the most juvenile thing I've ever seen Chris Domino do.
You have to understand, when cameras go on, sometimes he loses his mind. He completely loses it.
And by the way, that was our listeners, anybody tuned in the YouTube channel, the first time they ever got to experience the Loverboy rejoin and actually watch you in your performance.
Look how greasy his head is.
Well, it's always greasy. It's always orange and it's always greasy. Matt Egger, producer extraordinaire, thank you. Sean Nerney, the backbone of the program, thank you. Buck and Kincaid are up next. Enjoy your weekend. We are back Monday at 9 a.m. sharp. Domino and Cellini, the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM.
What is a phenomena? Help patients in need by joining us in the American Red Cross at the 11th Annual Atlanta Braves All-American Blood Drive, June 18th through June 27th, all across Atlanta. To make an appointment, visit redcrossblood.org and use